This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
There we go. Okay. Welcome. It's Friday. It's
Hi.
Open Comms. We're here. Happy birthday, CCP. And joining us tonight, I mean, we got me, we got Dom, we got Manic, but we also are joined by CCP Swift. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Finally.
Gotcha. We got him. We got him. And then we also have Arcia Elkin. How's it going? CSM candidate, Arcia Elkin.
It's going well, thank you.
Yeah, we got some birthday swag going on. I put the 18 up on the wall and my head's in the way.
And it's right behind your big ol' head.
Oh, good stuff. Anyway, yeah, so we got the show.
Opening shots.
Opening shots, yeah.
Oh yeah, shots.
We were, yeah. I mean, we do this now. Start with one. We were saving it, although I don't know if we saved it. We were gonna congrat you on getting hired at CCP, Elise, Swift, whichever. I don't know which one are you gonna go by? Probably Swift.
A little bit of both.
It's Swift.
But officially, it's CCP Swift.
Cheers.
Cheers. So the thing, yeah. Once we do the thing, I have a question.
What?
Yeah.
Are we seriously just gonna like dig right in?
Well, no,
for,
it's like
all of the dirt that he can give us. So
That doesn't
far?
seem fair.
Well, it's just the official.
Let's not dive. Let's ease into it, Drayden.
Well, what dirt you got? Mine was just a simple question.
No.
I was breaking down.
It's just a simple question. Yeah.
I was just like, I didn't even know you were applying for CCP. When did that happen?
It kind of not necessarily came out of nowhere. But I had the opportunity earlier this year, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, this sounds amazing. I'd love to wake up and think about EVE Online all day, every day, and go to work and think about EVE, and then go to bed. Yeah, it's great. It's just like it kind of fits exactly into what I enjoy doing. I've been kind of doing it for free anyways for quite some time, and you know it's more than just like a game, and it's more than just like a hobby for me. I absolutely like love the people I meet. It's like absolutely changed my life as well, so having it as a career was just I was really fortunate. And knock on wood, I'm not over there yet because we have to work on visa stuff, which is actually quite hard to do during COVID because Iceland has such high unemployment because like tourism is one of the big exports there.
Oh,
and it's been gone for a year. So the process to getting me over there is tumultuous, I guess. So I feel super guilty every day. Like I show up to work and show up in like meetings and stuff. I'm like, hey guys, I promise I'll carry my weight today. Like I know it's not hard or it's not easy, so please.
Well, they got the volcano there. You're gonna get. Is that still going? I think it's still going.
It's still good. They actually, I was seeing on Twitter a couple hours ago. I guess CCP took people up in a helicopter to go check out the volcano.
When the volcano first happened, there was just kind of like this crack that was just oozing out lava, from what I can tell. And it was like oozing into this valley. And then the valley filled up. So they're like, oh shit, like what's going on here? It's far from everything. Like no one's in any danger, right? That's the number one thing. But it was close enough to the road where people could like park on the highway essentially and hike there for like 20 minutes or an hour. They could see it. They could get up right close. But yeah, so a few things changed. I guess the geography of it changed a little bit, and now it's just like this lava geyser that
It's
shoots
spewing, yeah,
lava.
like
Yeah, I saw
like
someone's
a
Twitter.
geyser,
It was
that's what it is.
CCP.
It's crazy.
I don't remember. It was one of the CCP guys. They brought him out there like during the day for work in the office, and it's only like what, a few miles off to the side, right? So it's just like a little quick drive or even a jog, I guess. But yeah, they were hanging out, checking it out. It's weird. It's like you said, like the valley's out there, it's all molded, but then there's like this weird like kind of like surrounding cone of rock that it looks like it's styrofoam. It doesn't look like it should be able to stand up on its own, and then just in the middle is just this like constant spout just going off.
And I've seen some videos of it too that people have taken, and it doesn't look real. Like I know it's real, right? Like, but it doesn't look real. I feel like I'm really glad I'm not there because
It doesn't seem like
if
a
I
big
was there, I'd be
caldera
like,
volcano. It's
I
just
want to
like
touch it.
Looks like
Oh,
a
yeah.
special effect.
That would be bad. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Like,
the
oh,
thing
look,
in
forbidden Jello. Let's see what this
It's
is like.
it's
Oh,
like
Forbidden
yeah,
Jell-O.
it looks like candy as it's being molded. Like it looks tasty.
yeah, it kind of does.
Forbidden
And,
Jello. No, that's going on the list.
Yeah, that's the one
How
thing
about
that I mean, not saying I'm one that just gripes at movies all the time when something's not realistic, but that's one of those things where, you know, it's like, oh, like in the episode 3 of Star Wars where they're like having the lightsaber duel and they're floating. I mean, it's not lava, but I mean, basically might as well be. They're floating like a foot above like a whole
I think
lake
it
of
was
like
lava.
molten metal, molten lava, and they're just fighting.
Drayden-
It's like you.
Drayden, they were using the Force to
God, it's like I don't care how much force you got. Like you're in robes.
That's my Star
Yeah.
Wars nerd voice. Anytime I talk about Star Wars, I'm using that voice.
Dude, we were Star Wars nerding out in your channel the other day.
You
How'd
have
you like
to-
that?
Were you?
I love Star
I
Wars.
wasn't.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
have
pay.
to
I
chill
don't
the
pay attention
forbidden
to my
Jell-O
Discord.
first. It's not hot because you have to chill the forbidden Jello.
Oh, so you
or
put it in the
it's just
refrigerator for a little
yeah.
while? Okay. So it ends up being like finger Jello.
I mean, it is Iceland. It's kind of like the refrigerator outside, really.
It is very
Yeah.
cold there.
That's the thing. Like you gotta. I mean, I know Iceland is. I've seen a lot of photos. Like, holy crap, is it?
It wasn't that
a
cold when I
beautiful
was
spot,
there.
That's
It wasn't
that's
that
how
bad.
I know. That's how I know we're living in a simulation because the Iceland physics are wrong. It's a very cold country, but somehow they have lava. Come on.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's the only place in the world there's an active glacier and an active volcano.
I just remember I was always seeing CCP Falcon Paul, I think it is. He was always tweeting like, "Here's the weather today." It's like it looks the same as every
It's
day.
still
It's
cold,
overcast.
yeah.
It's like a colder
overcast and
Britain.
cold.
It's like Britain is always rainy. Iceland's always just like about to snow or snowing.
But then you see those photos where there's like no clouds and the sun is out and it looks gorgeous and you're like, that's not Iceland.
The fucking
that's
swimming
fake.
pools. The swimming pools in Iceland are amazing. They're
So in
fucking amazing.
2016, I went to FanFest and I flew from New York to Iceland, and I got out of the plane and it's like snowing, and I'm like, my brain's like, why is it snowing in April or whatever? And then somebody's like, welcome to Iceland. It's the summer, right?
Yeah, it's considered, I think, and I'm probably screwing this up because I actually haven't really been there since the last FanFest. But I think it's considered good luck if it snows on the first day of summer. So, and it does it like half the time. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure
it's
it was the
always-
first day of summer and it was snowing when I got there.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah,
Aaron,
the Rock is
thanks for
correct.
the
There are
resub,
lots
man.
of spas and stuff like that there. Some famous ones too.
Just remember that my first trip to Iceland for FanFest 2017, it was really windy and really rainy, like the first few days that I was there. And I stupidly bought an umbrella. It didn't occur to me that nobody else I was seeing was carrying an umbrella. I was like, I'll go buy an umbrella. And so I'm walking from my hotel to the Harpa to go to do filming with CCP Guard, and I'm fighting the umbrella every step of the way, and it was a pretty long walk. So I'm sure everybody looking at me is just laughing their asses off. And so I get into the Harpa, and Guard is there, and the camera guy's there, and he's like, "Why did you buy that? Just throw it away. It's useless here."
Sell it to another tourist. That's the only way you can get rid of it.
He just looks. He's like, first time.
Exactly. It's the first time. It was that.
My favorite story
First
about
time.
when I visited Iceland is actually I learned how to use the bus system, and I was going all around Reykjavik. And I got off a bus and I was walking down the street, and some guy comes up to me and asked me for directions to someplace. And I knew where it was because like we had eaten at that restaurant like the previous night. And I gave him directions and he just looks at me angrily and he's like, "You're not from Iceland." And I'm like, I knew where the damn restaurant was, right?
I gave you the right answer,
He
dude.
was like angry that I was a tourist too. Like,
What a dick.
That's a dick.
I've never been to Iceland. Man, I want to go, but
We'll get you out there, bro.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
everyone's all
I'd
like,
love to
"Oh,
go back,
Iceland! They
yeah.
got Iceland Air. There's direct flights." And I was looking. I was like, "Yeah, the direct flight from Seattle is like $1,400 round trip."
It's especially
Yeah.
from Seattle, especially
Once
So-
they get their tourist thing going on again, there'll be deals. I guarantee it. There'll be deals to get people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, WowAir used to have the WowAir doesn't exist anymore, but it used to have these really great deals from like Boston, DC, and I think one other place, and it wasn't New
Denver?
York,
Chicago
might have
didn't
been
they have a
that.
Chicago flight?
but it was always like
Oh no, not Iceland.
there's a 50% chance it's going to be delayed, and the fare was super cheap. But if you wanted to bring any baggage, then you're done. Like you're bringing your carry-on, and that's it.
Oh man.
But I
Oh,
remember
shit.
sometimes there would be like less than $200 from.
So they must have rented out all their
Damn.
cargo space for their stuff. That's why there's no bags.
I'd fly in a cargo plane.
I have flown on one before, yeah. When I worked at FedEx, I've flown them a couple times.
Yeah. Since KEF waiting area sucks. KEF, I don't know where that is.
Keflavik, the airport.
Keflavik, yeah.
Ah,
Keflavik is actually one of my favorite airports that I've ever been in. It's either first or second. It's either Keflavik or Haneda.
What? Why? I don't even rank the airports that I've been to.
The worst airport I've ever been to is LaGuardia. Like it's like not even close.
Oh,
But-
Atlanta for me. I didn't like Atlanta.
Right. But Keflavik or Haneda are my favorite airport.
How do you not like? How do you not like Atlanta? It's like it's
Atlanta's
huge.
awful. I hated it.
I've never been there.
So what makes a good airport, I guess?
That I don't have a horrible time when I'm there and it's
I guess
pretty.
yeah.
I will say Salt Lake City's airport is pretty nice.
The
Des Moines,
the
Iowa was
new-
awful.
the old airport was nice. The new one that they just finished construction on either late last year or early this year. It's bad.
Oh, I haven't been
You're walking about 2 or 3 miles from the entrance to your gate now.
Rain, they're not. They're not better.
Small
Cedar
airports are
Rapids
hit and
sucks.
miss. I mean, I don't know. Like Spokane's a pretty small airport, but it's nice because it's a small airport. There's not many people there. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, you got to get."
You're
like,
correct,
When you're
Skylar.
going through security, and it's busy. It could take hours. Whereas, like, I mean, not hours, but like an hour and a half. But like, you go to Spokane, it's like. You go up to the counter, there's like 3 people in front of you. You're like, here's my ticket thing. You get your ticket, you go through security. Like 15 minutes later, you're sitting in the terminal. Like, when's my plane showing up? I got here an hour and a half early, and now I gotta wait an hour and 10 minutes till we start boarding. It's like, damn.
Yeah, that's what it's like where I am right now in Jacksonville, which is in like the northern part of Florida. The airport is like pretty much new. There are 2 terminals, a whole 2 terminals. And it's just, you could show up 30 minutes before your flight and get through security, check your bags even if you wanted to. It is a breeze to get in and out of. But it does get me in trouble when I'm like going through normal airports on the way back. It's like, oh, I got plenty of time, and I'm always like rushing.
Yeah, I've definitely had to run a few times the airports where they get you there, that they delay your flight or the landing. Seattle is the worst. I think Seattle is the worst airport.
I was gonna say I got stuck in Seattle overnight coming back from FanFest.
I
Actually,
didn't like it. I didn't mind it.
they printed the wrong gate on my ticket, and Seattle's one of those airports where you have to basically take a train between gates.
yeah, the
Like
train
you
thing.
literally ride a subway between your gates.
I'm fine
And
with
so
that because
yeah,
that can be
they
efficient.
printed the
but-
wrong ticket, and I got.
But no,
got in late.
the problem with Seattle, I think I've flown through Seattle about 4 or 5 times, and literally, I think all but one of those times we ended up sitting in the air forever because they get backlogged on the runway because I think they just book too many flights on their runways than what they have capacity to land planes with.
That happens, yeah.
And it's just all the time. So every time you go through Seattle, it's like you're going to land like 30 minutes late. And if you tried your best to shorten the layovers, then it's like, okay, we're going to land and it's going to take 10 to 15 minutes to get off the plane. And then I have 3 minutes till final call boarding of the next flight. And you're just running through the terminals. As like, I think, yeah, half the times I've been through Seattle, I'm just sprinting to the next gate. I hate that airport.
So I've been on quite a number of long flights, but the worst flight I've ever had was actually New York to Toronto. All right, it's you're like, why would that be? How could that be bad? It's like an hour, right?
I was gonna say
Right.
that's not a big
But
trip.
okay, so it was LaGuardia. I had trouble going through the security, and that took forever, and they had to like fill me up, and then my flight was delayed like twice, and it's like 6 hours later we get on the plane, and then it sits on the runway for 3 hours because there's some problem, and we're just sitting on the runway for 3 hours, and we finally take off, and then we get to Toronto, and it's like backlogged on the runway, and we have to like circle around for like another hour. It was like I was so upset. It was like the worst day of my life.
Yeah, that so Eve North for Toronto, when I'm assuming you're talking about for Eve North, but it was the Raptors had just won the NBA title,
Yeah.
and it was Pride Week.
Yeah.
So everything was packed, and of course it was Eve North, so tons of draw.
Yeah, Eve North was fun, but it was sketchy getting in there because I don't know, the Uber drivers, the cab drivers downtown. I'm not used to that level of just where the cars have the right of way. If you're a pedestrian, you cross at your own risk, but all the pedestrians are just like, no, it's my turn to. I'm literally watching like cabs just pushing people out of the way with their cars. Like they're literally like a foot from someone's leg and they're still inching up at them. It's like, are you just like, are you gonna stop? What are you gonna do?
No,
I was
fine.
sitting
They
there
get
in the
by a
back
car,
of
they
the Uber
actually
guy,
have
just like,
healthcare.
I'm gonna be part of
Are
like,
they
cops are
like,
coming. Cops are coming. We're gonna run
trying
this
to
guy.
establish dominance on the road?
Yeah, I do. I Toronto was awesome. Toronto, it was a nice clean city. It was a
I
fun
enjoyed Toronto.
event. It was really fun, but man, like the downtown was sketchy at times.
All right, the only
It's a
thing I
major
didn't
city.
enjoy about
I mean-
Toronto is I had a really cheap Airbnb for Eve North, and I was like, oh, this is the best deal ever. And I get there, and every night from like 10 p.m. to like 4 in the morning, downstairs is apparently some club. And
Oh,
it's
no.
really loud,
Like right under your
right
air.
under me.
Oh my god.
I'm like, this is why it's cheap.
Yeah.
This is why it was one of the days I had to wake up at like 8 in the morning to do like the tournament for the Invasion series. We came in like third, but maybe if I had gotten enough sleep, we could have won it.
Yeah, some of the Airbnbs when I was looking there, I was supposed to stay with LB, but then he wasn't able to make it, and then I didn't have a spot, so I was like frantically scrambling trying to find like an Airbnb or something, and I eventually got lucked out and found one. One opened up right across the street from the event, like a day before I was supposed to like fly out, but I was looking at a lot of them, and some of them were like, oh, it's like $20 a night. I'm like, what's wrong with it? Like, no one rents out a room $20
What's
a
the
night.
catch?
Yeah, there's something, and it's like,
What's the
oh,
catch?
it's the basement of someone's like actual house, and they're like, you can share the kitchen with the family. I'm like, no, okay, no.
There's
I'm
only one
I'm
bathroom.
I'm not sleeping in the basement of someone's literal house where their family's like living in that, like them and their kids. Like, why would you let a random person sleep in there? That's kind of creepy.
I've
I'm
got
almost
guns.
worried for the family more than myself.
I will take the studio above the club any day to sharing like a kitchen with a family.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like I can sleep with noise. I can sleep with the ground shaking. It's
Oh,
fine.
I can't. Oh.
When I was trying to buy a house, we toured a couple of houses that you tour a house. Somebody's already living there, but they typically leave the house when they know somebody is coming to see it. A couple of families around here, they like just didn't care. The realtor shows up and they go in the door, and the family is just there living their lives in this house that we're trying to buy. It was so fucking awkward.
That's weird. Yeah. Usually realtors won't allow that.
It was so weird.
It's a
That is
nightmare.
really
When
weird, yeah.
the last house, me and my my roommate and his fiance, every time someone came for a showing, we had to like vacate the house for an hour, and it was sometimes 2 or 3
Right,
times
yeah.
a day for like 3 weeks, and it was just like, oh my god, that was a pretty awful experience. It's like I'm
Yeah.
just always on edge of like, you know, especially when I was like, that's when I was like, I think I just joined NC Dot, and I was trying to like, I gotta get all these fleets, and it's like fleets going up. It's like, oh man, I want to get on that, but that could be
Gotta
3
leave.
hours, and I might have to like, you know, sometimes like we get a call. It's like, hey, people want to be there in 30 minutes, and it's like, you got to get up and go, and it's like, I don't want to be that guy just like left on the gate. And they're like, hey, someone warp off to a side, kick him from fleet and shoot him. You know, it's like I knew I was just gonna like come back to like a pot like in a station somewhere, but so I just be like, man, like I gambled a bunch on that, but
I just got to point out, I'd like to fly on Satan's Chariot airline. That sounds like a fucking amazing time.
wait, is that an actual airline?
That sounds
I
like a
don't know.
metal
That's what
band.
Vlad says.
That's an 80s heavy metal band, Satan's Chariot.
It might be.
Oh,
It wouldn't surprise me. I can see them in my mind. If they don't exist, I can see what they might have looked like.
When do you actually ship out?
They used to
to
open for
Iceland?
Cannibal Corpse.
Shit.
I
out.
have no idea. I have
Oh.
absolutely no idea.
Because like yeah, I thought you were saying like there was like a 3 week thing. I was thinking that was like after like a few weeks. So they're just gonna, you know, whenever they. Oh
Whenever
right, it's the
the-
visa stuff you were saying.
Yeah, whenever my visa gets processed, then I'll be good to go. And then I put all of my stuff. I actually do ship out, right? I put all my stuff on a shipping container. There's a port here where I live, so that makes it a little bit
Oh, you're
easier.
going on a boat.
I mean, I'm not, but my stuff is.
He'll be in Iceland.
I'll
so
be
I'll be
on
there
a
a couple
plane.
months.
Oh
it'll take him
dang!
a few months to get there, but he's going.
I was like, dang, that's a mode of
hardcore there.
transport.
I mean-
CCP's
I mean,
just
that's
like,
so-
how are you with the ocean? By the way.
No, that was his choice. He's like, I'm on a boat, mother.
I'm
Yeah, I was like, you have to play Lonely Island
I
while
don't
you're
know.
doing there.
He's like, I'm afraid of flying. CCP, can you put me on a boat?
Cruise ship moving. Oh
It's
man.
just like a boat that looks like a rifter. Like,
A little inflatable rifter.
That would be amazing. So this is like I've got a weird story about life. So we'll just get into it. I didn't realize it was weird until high school / college because I didn't really bring it up too much. But when I was younger, when I was I think 8 years old. Wait, no, was I? Yeah, I was 8 years old. My parents were like, you know what would be cool if we bought a boat and just lived on it and sailed around Central and South America and the Caribbean. I was like, yeah, I like
That's my
pirates.
fucking
Let's
dream.
do it.
Like
So we did
pirates.
it. We bought we didn't do it. I guess I was complicit, but I didn't get
You're
to make
part of
that
the collective
decision.
we.
So for 6 or 7 years, we lived on a sailboat and like just went around Central and South America, the Caribbean. I went like this way, came back, went this way, chilled out in Venezuela for a while to dodge like hurricanes, then came back. And it was just like
Dodge
normal to me.
hurricanes in quotes.
That's a
That's
sounds
avoiding
awesome,
the
actually.
CIA. Actually,
yeah.
Yeah, it's super weird because you never meet anyone your own age as a kid. So I had like this really awkward socialization like levels. I could talk to adults like incredibly well, or even older kids, but there was like never someone that was like my age. So like talking to kids my age was like really weird for me for some time.
Just
It just
imagining
didn't
like
make sense. So you
That's
just thought,
what a
interesting, actually.
great child.
I'm just imagining
That's
like the
fucking
Simpsons
fantastic.
meme where like Elise is like talking with these adults and some kid comes up and says hello. He's like pathetic and just like
Yeah.
looks at
but it was super cool, and it was like so it was I'm old enough where it was the era like before the internet was really like the internet. So you didn't know that there was like some horrible shit happening in the country you were in. Like there was civil unrest in Guatemala that would be all over the internet like right now. but we were just chilling. We were like,
Costa
"Ah, it's
Rica,
Bonneville,"
all those
you know?
places. Yeah.
And so we were just completely oblivious to the dangers. It was like this really neat sweet spot in just society, I guess, where we were safe but also oblivious to the many dangers that were out there. So like it wouldn't work now, right? Like my parents would definitely not make that decision now. But back then it was perfect. It was like 92 to 99.
Oh man.
I think
How-
it's
how-
funny that the only reason it wouldn't work is just because you wouldn't know this stuff is going on.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
wouldn't know
That's
this stuff
that's
is
literally
going
the
on.
only hang up.
Right, like the conditions could be exactly the same, but like you know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
You said
And
how big
that's
was the
the
boat? You
thing.
said?
It was a 60-foot sailboat.
Oh, that's pretty big.
It was real. I mean, it's big, but it's not big at the same time.
Yeah,
But it's
I mean,
manageable by
it's-
two people, right?
I sailed when I was 13. My stepdad took us sailing around the Caribbean. And I think ours was like a 60-footer.
Man, I would be terrified to be
Is
on
that-
the
does that
ocean in
require a
boat
crew,
that-
or
I
is
mean,
that
like that's a
manageable by
big
two people?
boat, but like when
my-
you're on the
my
ocean, it's
stepdad did it all
it's-
himself.
It's not that big. It's, I mean, there's swells that, I mean, not even like in choppy ocean. There's just swells where like it's just, man, that'd be a little scary to me. But I'm terrified of the ocean anyway. So
I did get seasick a couple times, but it was
I get
fun.
seasick. I do remember seeing a video where there's some guy that sailed from somewhere like the Portugal or somewhere over in the like Western Europe, and he
Mediterranean?
sailed down to like Buenos Aires or something like somewhere in Argentina or Brazil, and like he was going across the Atlantic and he just had like a bunch of film, like he just like were taking shots here and there, he was just showing stuff, and there was one point where I never would have expected the actual like full open ocean to be like this, but he was like literally in the middle of the Atlantic, like not near any land masses or anything, no harbors, but there was just no wind, like zero wind, and he literally just kind of sat there bobbing on the ocean for about a week until the wind picked up and he could actually get going. And he would like film out on the ocean, and it looked like a clear, smooth, like glassy lake. Like it didn't even look like the ocean. There was no swells.
That sounds
like
really cool.
nothing.
Sounds amazing,
It
yeah.
was cool, but it was weird that it's like that's the ocean. Like he's probably about a mile and a half over the ground on the water, and it's just it looks like a lake
Glass.
with like little waves that are like a couple inches high, and that's
Just
it.
tiny ripples.
Yeah, it was weird. Like that would be scary though. 'Cause-
That would be terrifying. It's like, yeah, we're stuck in the middle of nowhere because there's no wind, and I don't know how long our food's gonna last.
Yeah, well, I
On
mean,
those
yeah, I'm
Swiss,
assuming he always over prepared, but yeah, he had a radio and like he
Overprepared.
had a radio contact with like they had to be within a proximity, and every now and then he'd get a hold of someone, and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And chat with him. He was like, "Have you heard any updates on the weather?" And they're like, "No," and so he's like, "All right, guess I'm still in the dark."
Swift's childhood is my fucking retirement dream.
Just live on a sailboat for the
Fuck
rest of your
yeah,
life.
in the Caribbean, high as a fucking kite, happy as hell. Fuck yes.
I need the internet. I was more or less raised by the internet, like
Same. Yeah.
because I was born in '88, so like
Oh
by
my
the time I
god.
was like 10 or so, I was already just on the internet full time.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I. Okay, we're 30 minutes in, and I think we could keep talking about travel all night if we wanted to,
Right, we should get into.
but we should transition to the Eve portion of the show.
What's
we
that?
do-
I don't get that part.
yeah, we do actually discuss a little bit of Eve Online here
Every
Do we?
now and then.
I don't know.
sometimes.
More stuff to talk about.
Yeah, just a few things. Webby Award voting is closed. I think it closed yesterday.
Did we win? Or did, did they win?
We'll find out on the
I
16th.
think we won.
Does
think it's
anybody
the
remember what the
18th.
percentages were
18th?
though?
The
at the
18th,
end?
yeah,
It was
18th
pretty
of
close,
May.
wasn't it?
They'll release it. I think we won, but
I think we won.
the last
It was,
I
it was a lot
saw-
closer than it was to start with.
It was. The
was
last
closer,
I
I mean,
saw, it was like I think Eve was at like 43%, and then the game from the Smithsonian that was like based on like helping people with better diets, that was at 33. So they were like 9 or 10% below Eve, but I think that was about.
And I thought the Smithsonian had
4
38.
No, that was last week. That was like about 7 or 8 days ago. So,
Does-
yeah.
does,
Swift has it.
Does
I
he
did
have
some
the answer?
recon with the
Oh.
Pick Your Plate app just to see what they were doing, see if they were up
What?
to no good. That was the one that was in second place, so I spied.
Oh,
on
that's
them.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So I installed their app to make sure they weren't like trying to cheat, because there are
Right.
some like rules in the webbies, right? You You can't
Can't
push
promote it
people
very
too
much, right?
hard. You can't like
You can't
promise free stuff
Game
for.
it, yeah.
Yeah, game
It's
it.
the
there you go.
Smithsonian though. Like I don't know if they would do
it's-
that.
You know
It's
what?
even worse
Our
than that, right?
science is cooler than
Right?
their science.
It's not only the Smithsonian; it's the Smithsonian sponsored by Johnson and Johnson.
Oh no!
So it's like this is this double whammy, and
Oh.
That's fantastic.
They got
though. They're
within-
beating them.
they got within 4 percentage points of us when they were still showing the percentage points.
Okay.
And
That's what I
then
thought. It was
in the
42,
last
38,
24
yeah.
hours, they hit the percentage, and so we have no idea what happened. CSB Convict did a great stream with some like actual scientists talking about the data with Project Discovery, and that gave us a little bit of a bump. But the scary part is there were like 420,000 votes or something before the last 24 hours, and there was this big push for just like all of the Webbies, not just in our category, but all of the categories. And they got like an extra 110,000 votes in the last 24 hours, which is hugely significant because that's like 24%, 25% of what was
yeah.
That's
left.
awesome. Yeah.
And the shitty part is, for us at least, is that when you vote in one category, it like starts popping up with, oh, you can look at this other category. So we have to compete with like 100,000 normies that hopefully
Oh.
didn't read the too hard. They'll be like, oh, this is cool.
Well,
I
they
can pick your play.
recognize the
This
name
is
of
nice."
Smithsonian.
Oh yeah.
So people recognize, they'll vote for what they recognize. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we didn't. I'm hoping
Normies.
it's like it's going to be like a random distribution, which is kind of more or less what happens when you push people towards voting. So it's going to be close. It's going to be really close. And I know there's a few people at CCB kind of like watching very closely.
Nervously.
Yeah, because it's not that they won an award or that we won an award or whatever. It's just it would be cool to say, hey, Project Discovery, the stuff that you guys did as players, got this real world trophy. Suck it, everyone else, especially you, the Smithsonian, which is not an official thing.
Yeah, the
Especially-
Smithsonian sucks.
Yeah,
Nobody likes the Smithsonian.
CCP's just sitting in their office. They're like looking at the
dunked on
numbers,
the
getting
leaves.
closer. They're like, someone else is like,
Yeah. Suck
do,
it,
do we
Smithsonian.
do we deploy the bots? Not yet. Hold. Wait. Not yet.
Get a hold of fraternity. They'll take care of us.
If bots can play the game, they can vote.
No, we kick them out. Those guys get kicked out. But
Of course.
when I saw this thing was done by the Smithsonian, I was like, I want to watch Bones again. So I started watching Bones again. Then I felt super guilty. I was like, no, I'm not going to watch Bones. I'm going to watch New Girl instead. So,
I started watching Bones a while back. I didn't get. I think I almost
You
finished
didn't
the
get
first
it?
season.
Well,
Well,
Bones
no.
was okay
I've watched
for
a
while.
bunch of Bones episodes, but never
like the guy that-
chronologically. It
the
was always
guy-
just
It
random
really
hodgepodge in the middle
really
of like.
went off the rails
Yeah, we did.
in the later seasons.
Well, I'm just saying, like, yeah, there's always
It's
like,
like the
here's
FBI
an
kind of
episode
show,
from
right,
season
about Bones?
2, and then all of a sudden, here's an episode from season 5. So I never really got like a chronological good story. So I
The
started.
Smithsonian made
wanting
that
to do
show.
it.
Shut
No,
up.
the Smith.
No, that's
No,
the
they have,
what?
Jeffersonian.
It's the setting.
It's the
set in
Jeffersonian.
the Smithsonian.
There
is
you
it
go. See, I knew there was a
Jeffersonian
connection.
Institute.
I didn't know what it was. Thank you.
but the
It's,
Jeffersonian doesn't exist, right? It's
Well, it's
based
a
off
it's a
of the
thing they made up
Smithsonian.
for the show, but yeah,
Yeah, but
in
it's
the show, it's
based
the
off the
Jeffersonian, which I think is supposed to essentially like. Be
Oh, I thought it was
Smithsonian.
I thought it was the Smithsonian.
No.
Anyway,
Oh, I knew it. They made Hamilton. Darwin says so.
Like the Broadway play?
Smithsonian did.
no, the
Made-
person, the Smithsonian.
Oh,
The
actually
pres-
made
the
it.
president?
They created the
Or
president.
no, yeah. He was like
He
He's
wasn't
actually
president.
a clone. Yeah.
Did they make Aaron Burr to get rid of
They
him? Because
they
became
they took it.
self-aware.
They found an old
Hamilton
coat.
wasn't president, right?
They
Mhm.
found an old coat with a strand of his hair,
Alexander
but
Hamilton.
the DNA strain was incomplete, so they mixed it with frog DNA, and it turned into this giant Hamilton dinosaur.
That's fantastic.
No,
a
what
a
happened-
Hamelsaur.
What
Hamilton,
happened?
Hamiltonosaurus.
The Smithsonian was jealous of EVE Online for beating it at the Webbies. So they went and invented cloning technology to one up EVE Online.
And
who
create
only,
a whole
who only
army of
ju-
Hamiltons.
right? Yes,
Hamilsaurs or Hamiltons? Which one are we creating here?
both.
Oh my god. Yeah, fucking
First one, then the
Hamilton's
other.
riding Hamilsaurs. That'd be terrifying.
Vlad got my joke. Thank you, Vlad.
Did you give me an init pin, Sikander? Oh, also Sikander, thanks for the month resub. You
I
may
don't have an
have.
init pin
I
either.
There's still more Eve stuff in my bin. I'll have to go look for it. I think you gave me an init pin. I hope I still have it. We were just talking before the show with Swift because he's like, I don't ask for pins initially because I lose them. So I try to get them at the end, and I'm like, yeah, I get them initially and then hope I don't lose them. So I hope I didn't lose this again.
Yeah, it's tricky trying to navigate exactly when you should get your Eve swag and your Eve pins, because you don't want to lose it, but you don't want to wait until it's like too late where everyone's running out and they're like full on hoarder and just like crazy cat lady levels of hoarder. We're like, no, I need this horde pin. Get your own, and it's like so.
I need to just do what
I want to meet the crazy cat lady.
what Grey Gal does. Like the second she gets pinned, she just puts them on her lanyard right away, and she just wears her lanyard ever. Her lanyard is. I feel like Game of Thrones. Like, what are the guys that have the chains?
The Meisters.
The Meisters, yeah.
Meisters,
it's like she's got like the Meister chain. It's like that's got to weigh you down because it's like she's got like 80 pins or more. Like it's like that's got to be like 15 pounds of metal pins on your necklace.
I don't think I've ever gone to an Eve event where Grey Gal wasn't. I'm pretty sure
I haven't either. Yeah.
Grey Gal's been to every event I've been to. There might have been like one of the very first Eve event I went to was in Eve Vegas before it was still like a Goon event. And I'm not sure if she was there, but every other one she's always been, and it's insane.
Yeah, the first one I went to was the first one that CCP became like the main thing, the coordinators or whatever for, and that was what 2015
when they took 2015 is when
so 2015 I've been to all of them since then. She's been to every single one, and then she was in Toronto, and she was on the cruise I went on.
She was on the cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
She hosted, didn't she? Like,
yeah, she actually set up the whole cruise. She got a hold of a travel agent and did all this stuff. Although now it got canceled because of last year, but they were supposed to go on a cruise in the Baltic. And
in Croatia, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was gonna start from in Amsterdam, I think, or is Amsterdam? That's a port city, right?
You're asking wrong.
I know it started in the Netherlands. I think it was Amsterdam. I'm pretty sure it's a port. So it started in Amsterdam, and then it went to some port city in northern Germany. And I know that because they were saying like it was like Berlin in quotes, which it wasn't saying that Berlin. It was just saying like a lot of shore excursions were like you get off the boat, you take a bus or a train or something to Berlin, and then they have shore excursions there to do, and then you go back. And then from there, it went over to, I think it was Riga in Latvia. And then it went up to...
Estonia?
No, Latvia was the only Baltic state it went to. And then I can't remember if it went to Oslo or Stockholm, but one of those two. And then it went back.
Okay, so it was just in the Baltic.
Yeah, it was just, it looked like a really cool cruise, but...
That'd be a fantastic cruise. Imagine that. That's...
Yeah, she actually awesome. Just because the first cruise she set up with the Alaska cruise, like it was fun, but she had a kind of a hell of a time trying to get stuff done through the travel agent and trying to mess with price. Like she put ridiculous amounts of hours working all through this, and then eventually, so for the one of the Baltic thing, she's just like, how about I just become the travel agent? And so like I don't know if you have to do something special for that, but she just started setting it up to where like she was going to be the travel agent and just work with the cruise lines directly, and it's like, okay, sweet. But
I imagine that you'd have to get some kind of licensing, so she probably puts
I have no
into
clue.
that too.
Yeah, it's like, or maybe it's just you have to just.
Well, I mean, like insurance agent, something like that. You'd have to have some kind of.
Well, no, because the
credentials
insurance, any insurance you get through because the travel agents doesn't deal with insurance. The insurance is all dealt with.
But
like you buy insurance
if
through
you
the
can buy a medical
agent.
license online, I'm sure you can buy an insurance.
Yeah, because like
license.
any insurance stuff that you deal with is through the cruise line itself. So
I don't
you
mean
just
insurance.
have to.
I mean like an insurance agent.
Oh,
I don't say until insurance.
Oh, I was so fixated on the word insurance.
Like
I know
a good
you.
neighbor,
I know.
State Farm is there.
I do like State Farm.
Okay,
you know what? The insurance industry.
We're back on travel. Okay, yeah.
The
Let's,
insurance
This is the
industry had the
travel
best
show,
commercials, though.
apparently.
We're
Jesus
just all
Christ.
so upset that we haven't been able to go anywhere for the past like year and a
We're
half.
talking about
I
travel,
know,
and we're not allowed to travel.
it's like one of those
Let's
like,
get
oh
off of
man, if
this.
you won the lottery, what would you do? I would leave my house.
That's why I'm waiting for GameStop to blow up so I can go somewhere.
So I wasn't
Stonks,
able
dude.
to
Get that
invest in,
Dogecoin.
Yeah, I wasn't able to invest in GameStop when it blew up, but I put money. I put like $20 into Dogecoin, so I'm retiring.
Nice. Got the diamond hands of the beam. coins.
All right, so some more Eve stuff. So I mean, obviously Eve's 18. We were doing a little bit of stuff last week, but it hadn't quite technically turned 18 yet. But now it's turned 18. Oh man, Swift's got the hat. Nice.
I've got several hats. I went to Target and just got it out of business. I've got the same glasses as Manic, but blue.
I almost bought these in green until I realized that I have a big green sheet behind me for a very specific reason.
I had some
That
green
would've
and
been
yellow
fantastic.
balloons behind me that was taped to my green screen, and as I was like blowing them up while on camera, I was like, "Wait a minute! There's just these weird floating spheres of nothing
Spheres
behind me. Like this isn't gonna work." So I had to like quickly swap out to like there's pink one. It was basically just all pink and orange because that's all I had left.
At least you should have left them. Said they were warp disruption bubbles.
Yeah,
right?
wobbles. I could just have some
Wobbles,
But then my air conditioner came on like really strong for some reason, knocked them all down, and my little Roomba went off and started just popping balloons at like super late at night, and it scared the crap out of me. It was just like pop, pop at like 4 a.m. or 3
Intruder.
a.m.
I would think it was gunfire. I would
Yeah.
be freaking out.
So if I have like bags under my eyes, it's because I woke up early this morning, like mortified.
I'm picturing your Roomba as like this balloon hating robot. It's just like on a rampage. It's like I
So
hate
it's,
those fucking things.
It's not even a Roomba. So I've got
It's a Boomba. It's Fu was saying.
Yeah, the one I have.
Boomba.
I'm like split floors kind of. So I've got the nice one downstairs where like it doesn't bump into walls, but I've got like the shitty one upstairs where my office is, and it doesn't care. Like the way it maps out a room is it just goes bonk, bonk. Okay, that's a wall. It's just a bonk, and it doesn't remember where it was last time. So it just bonks into
Oh, it just
stuff.
turns once it hits something.
Yeah. So it's
Oh,
it's very
that's
low
awesome.
tech. The other one
Talking-
has like a little.
I just have a fucking
radar on
toy
it.
that did that when I was a kid.
Talking Stations just got the raid. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Oh wow! Hey,
We're
hey,
just
Talking
we're hanging
Station.
out. We got Swift with us. We got RC Elkin. We'll be getting into some CSM stuff later on the show as well.
After-
Put the hat.
after-
You cut a big notch in
I
that
did
hat.
cut
You
it.
need to put that fucker back on.
I did cut the knot. I had to cut the
That was
notches for.
fantastic
I had to
job, too,
cut my
dude, I'm
hat
telling
for
you.
To
the
make it fit.
Look at that.
to make
It's
it
fucking
fit with
professionally
the
done. I love
headset.
it.
We'll be talking about CSM stuff like what my favorite airport is.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what your travel aspirations
Who's your
are?
What are you
What's your
traveling?
favorite
How are you
travel
traveling
agency?
during your CSM candidacy?
CCP
All right,
Darwin,
Darwin
with the
just
gifted
gifting all the-
subs.
Gifted all the subs.
Jeez.
What was it? Oh yeah. So for the 18th birthday, there was a thing that throughout the week earlier, or it was a couple days ago. People were posting on Twitter a bunch of their own pictures of themselves when they were 18. I was looking through a bunch of them. They were pretty good. I just grabbed a few. I only grabbed the ones that I could get a hold of people that, because I want to make sure it's okay that, hey, can I put this on the show? Plus Antiquarian. I didn't get a hold of him, but I'm pretty sure that he'd be cool with it. I don't think he'd post it on his public Twitter if he wasn't. So, but yeah. So I mean, it's funny because like a lot of people were like, oh, they look pretty similar to they do now, just younger. But then you get to Antiquarian and like Rick's Javix, and I think those were like some of the best ones. Yeah. So I mean, like that was that's me. I think I might have been 19 or 20 in that actually, but close. That's about as close to 18 as I could find.
Drayden, you look like Tom Green to me. Like
Oh,
you look
no.
like Tom Green. I'm not saying that as an
Oh, he
insult.
does.
I
Yeah,
love
no,
Tom
I totally
Green.
get that. Yes.
You look like Tom Green, dude.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Me throwing my I was just like peace, but it's like
Throwing
it
up
looks like I'm throwing
peace
like some
signs.
gang sign out. It's like chill,
Dude,
dude.
you're
You're on a
OG.
boat in Idaho. Calm down.
Look how hardcore you are on your boat
Hell
in,
yeah.
in the calm waters
Your
of
bum is on the
Idaho.
boat. Your bum is
Your bum is on the boat. Yeah.
And then,
I can probably sing that song. I listened to that song enough when I was a kid that I can probably still sing
I
it.
remember,
Today.
yeah, that got to the top on the top MTV on the what was Carson Daly's show.
Yeah.
That man was a
TRL,
genius.
yeah. The
God bless you, Tom Green.
you got Manic going through the mall in a Segway.
On a Segway. This is when Segways were just starting to come out, and
Crazy.
for all you millennials out there who don't remember, these dopey little things were supposed to revolutionize travel as we know it.
Yeah, but they have hoverboards now, which are basically
And
the same
it
thing without the
never
dumb
happened.
handlebars.
The inventor of the Segway actually died falling off a cliff while riding a Segway.
Oh,
Today you learned.
did he really?
Yes.
That can't be real. Is that
No,
real?
I heard about that when it happened, and I'm like,
That is
why did
literally
he not
true.
Just step
But it's
off?
got
It's going
gyros. He's
like
not
a
supposed
Yeah,
to
why
be able
would
to
you not
fall.
just step off? Exactly.
I don't know.
He shouldn't be able to
Strapped
fall
it.
on those. He just
It's like,
It's
oh,
funny because
no.
right before it happened, he made the claim that it was impossible for a Segway to fall off a cliff.
Oh, he did not.
No, that's the joke. That's a joke.
No,
But
no,
no,
it's like-
That'd be
the
fantastic.
inventor of the Segway actually died falling off a cliff while riding a Segway.
no, but like,
Living
how
your
did it go
dream. That's right,
down? Like,
Bagger.
was he just like, oh no?
If I
it's
remember correctly, he
He
was
looks so
showing it
focused,
to
too.
he was showing it to a group of people, I think, and yeah, he was going maybe a little too fast to stop in time, but yeah, it happened.
there's
One of the places
there's,
I worked
there's
at, we had
Dirk
medical.
and Dirk and Kate.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at that hair
Yeah.
on both
And that's
of
funny.
them,
It's like when
actually.
he's 18, people are like he's like in his 40s now, and it's like yeah, like people don't realize how long they've been married. Like they
He
were
looks like Jay
they were
Leno.
high school sweethearts, and they're
They've
still together.
always
So,
been married.
yeah. So that's oh, Delana's here. Delana, I didn't
Okay,
get a
CCP
response from you. Can I
Darwin's calling
shoot?
me
Can I
out.
use your
Hold on.
picture? And then we got Satonia. He
Oh, he
looks like
did like little Nicky. Oh, my God.
okay. Yeah, Satonia looks like he could have been in like any of the emo indie bands in the 90s, I think. And then okay, Delana said I can't. So we got Delana. She looks the same, just a little younger. It's kind of like me and Manic and Delana. I think we all just, and even Satonia, I think we all just look like if you just imagine the person about 20 years younger. 10 in Delana's case, she's not old. Saved her right there. See. But here we go. The Antiquarian, dude. It doesn't look anything like him. In
I
my
feel like I can see, like, I know what Antiquarian looks like. I can kind of see him. I can see the roots of CCP Antiquarian in this photo. Is what I'm trying to say. He
I love
has
the
he has
tie.
not yet
the
blossomed.
tie,
but I
yeah,
can
the
see
yellow
the
tie.
roots.
Where did he find a bright yellow tie? Also,
But it's got the smiley face from the Watchmen too. Like
oh,
Watchman
right.
smiley face.
comedian.
Look
Yeah,
at
yeah.
how baggy those pants
And here's the thing:
are.
that's obviously taken in a school, right?
Yeah. That
So
looks like
why
a
does the
school.
door behind him say John and Dan's crib?
maybe it's his freshman year of college. Maybe that's their
maybe it's a
dorm.
And then
dorm.
I was sitting there trying to like break down everything in this picture. It's like in the back,
Oh,
it's like
that does look like a dorm, yeah.
Carrie is in, and then you can't
Are
see
you,
the rest of the
are you
words.
trying to read all of the?
I
all the
was
signs?
just trying to get context
I
of like
can't-
what's going on in his school. When
I
he was
can't ignore. Yeah, are those Janko jeans? I
yeah,
wore a lot of
they're
Janko
like the big
jeans.
Janko jeans.
They're like
I remember that. That
you
was
can fit both legs into one pant
yeah,
leg.
that was yeah, it's team.
Those,
Well,
God,
we're just going through a few.
I miss 90s fashion because it was so baggy and comfortable. I loved it.
See, I thought.
And then the last one. I think this is probably my favorite. This is Rick Javix at 18.
1984.
That stash,
Dude, the stash with the curly
curly
mullet.
mullet. Holy shit.
And the rugby shirt too. Like
The rugby,
everything
yeah,
plays
like
together.
this is perfect. This is like peak. What was this in the? I'm gonna guess 70s.
Mid 80s. Mid 80s.
The
Mid-80s?
80s, yeah. I think early. Because
84 is my guess.
I'm wondering, like, does he look like Freddie Mercury a little bit?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I could see it if you cut the hair short. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
because Freddie Mercury
chin-
didn't have like the long
the chin and the
mullet thing, yeah.
mustache. Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, people were linking a bunch of other like clips of some guy that looks just like that doing stuff that I'm pretty sure wasn't Rick's. But I was sitting there, I was like, everyone has these photos of the same guy, and like, who is he? He's obviously someone famous that was a doppelganger of Rick's, or Rick's was a doppelganger of him. But
you know how people say like fashion, like trends go in
John
circles.
Oates.
They're secular, right?
Circular,
Like
yeah.
John
everything,
Oates. Oh my
everything
God.
old is new
Mike is right,
again.
you're right.
Drayden, put that picture of Rick's back up for me, just so I can make my
John
point here.
Oates.
John Oates. Who's John Oates? I gotta Google this
Hall,
now.
Hall and Oates.
Okay,
They're a
people say
band.
trends are secular. They come and go. I cannot picture any timeline in the future where that hairstyle comes back into like the popular consciousness.
I mean,
I hope it's
That
next year.
is really
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
people still sport that,
Fuck yes.
and they think it looks
could.
good on them.
No.
Ricks,
no one-
you know
no
I
one
love
thinks it.
you, but come on,
dude,
man, this
have
hair.
you haven't seen? Although he cut his hair, it's still mulletish. Like, dude, you haven't seen hip hop. I'll have to
curly,
I'll have to sneak a
curly
picture of
mullet.
hip hop and show you guys at some point. Like, because he just didn't get his hair cut for COVID, and then he just decided, I'll cut my bangs, and he just kept letting it go out long, and it kind of got to like Joe Dirt long. But then he like trimmed it, so now it's like that, but not curly. Kind of
Fantastic.
So like people in chat are making good points that like everybody does kind of have COVID hair, so that it kind of has come back, right?
I did until I shaved mine
And-
off.
And like since COVID, I've been cutting my own bangs, and that's why they're always just like all over the place. They're not. It's like a 5-year-old did it.
There's no way
Just
I could
standing
be
in the mirror,
trusted
just
to
trying
cut my
to
own
gauge
hair.
it.
I
Yeah.
no, I'm so used to having my hair short,
You
but
sneeze as you're doing it. Achoo.
that I just couldn't deal with the long hair. So the second the salon things or the barbershops opened up, I was like, I'll put a mask on and I'm just gonna risk it because I can't stand it anymore. Because my hair does some dumb stuff when it gets long. I have like a cowlick on one side, but then also it tries to part the other way. So like my hair like comes together, but then
It
it like
sounds like a
wants to
wig.
split away like this. So I have this like kind of weird like weird.
Your hand
wave.
gestures are fucking amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm
It's a
just
very
trying to.
good
I'm just
visual.
trying to
I'm
like
telling you right now.
visualize it for you.
I
And
got
then
it. I
like
see
the
it.
back like
In
goes
my
down,
mind,
but
I
it doesn't
see
want to keep going. It just starts curling up, and it will literally curl up like almost like 4 inches before it starts going. And it's like, yeah,
What
my
the
hair is like
fuck?
it. There's no reason my
not
hair needs to
human
be more
hair,
than a couple
but
inches
it's okay.
long, and that's even long for me. I keep it like half an inch. That's about it. But yeah.
I can't remember the last time my hair wasn't like past my waist.
There you
had-
go, Mike.
all right, we
It's
got
not
to
hair. It's a pelt. He has a pelt.
It's a pelt, yeah. It's just like a
That's
rug
what he described.
It's
You
a small
described a
rug.
pelt. Yeah.
draped over his head.
Okay,
I
so
can't think of Don
vote
Frank's
Rick's
hair
for
without
CSM,
What?
by the way.
hearing
Fucking-
rain, like just gagging at the hair. Like that's
Oh yeah. She's gagging.
I need to
It's
get
just
that on the soundboard. Why didn't I get
seized
that?
into my memory
Did you get that?
for some
You,
reason?
you do have that, right?
I
the
have the
gag?
clip. I just need to go rip the audio off of it
God
and just
damn.
put it into the soundboard.
I
I
about
can do
peed
it, but yeah.
myself.
Yeah, I was just surprised because she started getting so like. I wasn't sure. I was like, is she really like gagging? Because I'm like, it
Well, then
sounds.
No.
I
It
reached
sounds
out and grabbed a whole bunch of
convincing.
it and held it up.
Noises are
Yeah.
just so funny. I love pretending like I'm
I was
gonna
like,
puke.
it's just
the
hair.
funniest thing.
It's just hair. She's probably gagging right now.
I saved a baggie
Like,
for her. So
She's 100% gagging. I
She's
can,
just-
I can
now that we're-
almost hear it, right?
Now
Like,
that
I
we're
can-
talking about it, she just is like, hair not on your head is the worst.
I have a baggie for you, Rain. I kept it for you. You'll get it tomorrow.
I don't want to change diapers. Now my niece is still. Yeah. Oh man. No, thank you to diapers.
I have to find my high school yearbook photos. I was much. I agree. I mean, I guess you could probably tell the difference or tell it's me. I had like super blonde hair, no facial hair.
I mean, don't you have
At
blonde hair right
all.
now anyway?
I was just saying,
but it
yeah,
was
pretty-
like
pretty blonde.
it was super blonde before.
Mm.
Like platinum blonde.
Yeah. People now call me a ginger, which is weird. I don't
Yeah,
get
people
it.
call me a ginger. It's like
You have
it's-
red hair, Drayden.
It's because you have red hair.
I think it's because I have a red beard and people assume that
That's
my hair
red
is the same
hair.
color. No, well, that's on my face. My head hair,
Your hair.
the top of my head hair, I think is like
Look pretty
like a
same.
mix between blonde and brown. I mean, like maybe
Yeah, red. That's called red.
What?
The mixture between
You
blonde
can't,
and brown
you
is
can't
red.
get away from
Sorry,
this,
dude, that's
Drayden.
red hair.
Just accept it.
You're describing red hair.
Strawberry blonde. I don't know.
Which is red.
Yeah, my yearbook. Although my yearbook picture, I was 17 because I was like I actually didn't turn 18 until like 3 weeks after my graduation from high school. I was like I think I was the second youngest person in my class. But
Digital pictures weren't a thing when I graduated high school.
My thing,
Same.
because I had braces when I was in my senior year, so like I just did the smile. I'm like, and I did like the thinker pose. I was like some like philosophical, like, yeah, I'm thinking
Yes, I
about
can see that.
nothing, but
I can see that, dude.
Thinking about my future.
Thinking about the mall.
I'm thinking about
the
jail. I don't want
mall.
to go
I'm
back.
thinking about all
Going
the
on to
video
Hot
games.
Topic.
I love
Hot
Hot Topic.
Topic, oh
Oh
my
my god, I
God,
bought my
I
first
was a
trench
Hot
coat from
Topic.
there.
I was a Hot Topic kid in high school. I still fit into most of the clothes, right? That I
I'm gonna have
had
to take my kids there.
from high school.
It's changed so much. Like I feel embarrassed just walking by it now.
I don't think it's changed. You
It-
have changed.
No, Hot Topic has changed.
It's literally changed.
Both. Okay.
I mean, I've certainly changed because I don't shop at Hot Topic anymore, thank God. But
Yeah,
yeah, Hot
as far
Topic
as we
has
know.
changed.
Way to shame the Hot Topic
I
demographic.
still
Yeah,
definitely
sure.
have.
Our numbers
Listen,
just dropped
listen.
like by 40 people. So
If you are over the age of if you're over the age of 18 and you're still shopping at Hot Topic, like as your primary source for clothing, I think you need to just look in the mirror and
Oh my god,
and
Delana wants to
if,
fight you right now, Manic.
Ask if this is the person you want to be, Delana. Just look in the mirror
I still
and
go to
ask
Hot
yourself,
Topic.
is
What's
this
wrong
the
with Hot
person I want
Topic?
to be?
I have a
Is
lot.
this what
of
my
clo-
parents raised?
I have a lot of clothes from Hot Topic from when I was younger that still fits me, and I still wear it. Fight me.
I
I was really into Dragon Ball Z as a kid,
Oh,
and you
no
remember
way.
those print shirts, those button-up print shirts that were like rave shirts that people would wear to clubs. I had about 100 of them with Dragon Ball Z shit all
But
over
did any
them.
have Piccolo on it? The best character.
I think maybe one of them had Piccolo. I was really into Trunks. Trunks was my favorite.
Who was the
Piccolo.
old ass man?
I had swim trunks.
Master
Is that what
Roshi.
you're
That
talking
was Roshi. Yeah.
That dude's fucking the best. I never watched
He's-
the show except for like.
He's a pervert, Drayden. He's literally a pervert.
Oh god, I take it back.
Don't take it back. Just own it. Just own it.
I just remember he was sitting there like everyone's like charging up and fighting. He's just like fuck you, and just like flicks them. I don't know.
Hey, Manic.
What?
I mean, looks like I'm gonna have to fight you anyway, but
Oh, okay.
Oh,
bring
hey,
it on,
Delana,
Delana.
what's
I
up?
mean, you're just a girl, and you know
um,
Oh, I can take this. Too.
what?
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
you know,
I
now
gotta
you're
go.
quiet. Oh, you
No.
come in here swinging, and now you got nothing. Come on.
no, you just wait.
All right.
I mean,
So,
there's advantages when there's a tall person, and there's like,
Yeah, I've got a big reach.
yeah, but I can go under and attack your knees.
Always go.
all I could
these.
think about was Avril Lavigne when Mannix said she's just a girl.
Yeah.
No one else.
Skater
no
boy
one
is
else-
Oh,
I'm
weird.
just
And
a
then,
skater boy.
Delana comes back with, oh no, going under was Evanescence. I take it back. Going under.
Oh my god, it was
That's
so
it.
good. You guys, I missed the 90s so much.
I think I still have.
These are
CD.
the 2000. I definitely still have that CD.
No, but Avril Lavigne came back and she had some song that was like it wasn't going under. But it's
You showed me she had a song where it's like all kinds of melodic and
yeah, that's like
melancholy.
her newer
like,
one.
It's just really good.
Yeah, like she's not the old skater teen punk Avril
Are you
Lavigne.
trying
Now
to
she's
say
more
her
like
old
an
songs
actual
weren't
like
really
yeah.
good?
No, she was
Well, she went away
great
for a while because she got Lyme
for her
disease
time.
and she got
Oh, she
really
got
sick
Lyme
and almost
disease? Jesus
died. and
Christ.
shit. Yeah, she got Lyme disease and almost died, and then she was like, that's what that whole song is. Don't Let Me Drown or whatever it is. Like the whole song is about like her going through that and like basically like fighting against like dying and trying to because like Lyme disease is like a permanent like you can basically come out of it, but it has like permanent lifelong effects, and so she's like basically finding ways to deal with that now. And so she kind of like got back into music again, but she was like out of it for a good 5+ years or more.
I'm gonna blow your minds.
Oh,
And this
do
is
it,
this is
do
gonna be
it.
crazy. So there is a weird conspiracy theory started by, I believe, a Portuguese blogger in Brazil,
So
or just a Brazilian
very
blogger in
trustworthy.
Brazil. Yeah, about how Avril Lavigne actually died, and her body double, who would go on like publicity stuff, like took over for her. And
Well,
it's like, it's this absolutely unhinged, like weird conspiracy theory that a ton of people like. I don't want to say they believe, but they're just like, yeah, maybe I could see that
It's
happening.
it's
It's
another
fun to
Paul
entertain the
McCartney
You
idea.
thing.
can't disprove it.
We've done this before with Paul McCartney. Like,
And
on.
fucking Andy Kaufman, like
Yeah, but it
And
was
I-
her like
Elvis.
and I've seen Paul McCartney in concert, and like, even if that's his double's still really good.
Yeah, I was like, did you really though? Did you really see
how do
Paul
you
McCartney?
know?
I was saying, like, even if it's the fake guy was still pretty good.
Oh, it's like I mean,
Well,
it's not a conspiracy theory, but like Static X. I don't know if there's people that listen to rock much, but like, there's the new singer that they got for Static X, but he does the hair like Wayne Static did because Wayne Static died. He does the hair like Wayne Static. He does the face paint, but he does his face paint like he's a ghost, like a ghost Wayne Static version, and he sounds really close to the actual Wayne Static, and it's like. He kind of just does it in the style that Wayne Static did. He doesn't try to like do his own take on the songs. He's just like, I'm just here to kind of like keep Static X stuff going in Wayne's style, in like, you know, in respect and remembrance of Wayne. It's like, that's cool, but it's pretty
So when you started talking, I thought you said Sonic X, and I was just
Oh.
like, go, 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 go.
no, wait, Static X. I was a rock. I still am. I've branched into a lot of different music since then, but like when I was in like high school, I was like, it's got to be metal or nothing. But now I'm just like, I like everything. Not a huge country fan, but pretty much everything else.
If it sounds good, you'll listen to it.
Pop,
I-
rock,
like-
EDM, everything. It's all good. I like it.
I feel that so hard. It's like, what kind of music do you like? Not country. Everything.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well,
there's
there's,
some
there's
country.
even like
there's
some
actually,
country songs
yeah,
that I
there's some
like.
country I like, but not a lot. I would say it's pretty
Yeah, there's
small.
not a
It's
lot,
a
yeah.
small percentage, but there's a few. Once in a while, I'll hear like a country song where I'm like, that's good.
I like.
I just don't relate to my truck and my dog leaving.
Yeah, like the twangy like boot scoot boogie and like that kind of country. Like,
Well,
nah.
well,
That
there's
is a
like
fun
the
Old
line
Alan
dance.
Jackson.
That
like,
is a fun line dance, though.
yeah.
boot scoot and boogie. Yeah, that's a good line.
I mean,
dance song.
Garth Brooks
No.
is Garth Brooks. I mean, you
No.
can't not like Garth Brooks, but
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I guess you can.
What about John Denver?
Oh no, you can't not
That's
like John
old,
Denver.
old.
John
You-
Denver's
you,
fucking
you
fantastic.
gotta like John Denver.
Fuck yeah, he's awesome.
I
I actually like. What is the guy's name? Garth Brooks. Yeah, Garth Brooks.
Yeah,
I
I would
like
say we've deviated a lot. We got to make sure that we get in some, at least a little bit of foundation
don't
talk. I
have
know
to.
there's,
Should we?
And then we gotta
just
get some CSM
shuck
talk.
The
Start
idea
over?
that this is an Eve podcast.
yeah, we should
Start over.
entertain that a little bit.
it. We have
So
to.
foundation. I mean, obviously not a ton of details have come out, but
I like Darius Rucker too, though. He's fucking fantastic.
Rutger Hauer?
Darius Rucker.
He's not a
Wasn't
country
he?
singer.
No, what band
He
was
was the guy in Blade Runner.
Fuck off. He was.
And Lady
What was
Hawk.
his name? What? Hootie the Blowfish. There you go. Darius Rucker.
well, that's Hootie.
Hootie and the Blowfish wasn't in Blade Runner.
Yes, they were.
No.
The second half, they were too.
I could keep this going, Don. We can
They
go
were-
all night with
They were
this.
there. I'm telling you right now.
You saw Hootie and the
What did I just
Blowfish in
move
Blade
to the
Runner?
bottom?
Fuck yeah, I see him right now in Blade Runner.
What did you just move to the bottom, Drayden?
I just moved something to the. No, I didn't.
That's your background, Drayden? I fucking love your background.
No, that's I'm logged in
That's
Eve right
Cheetah.
now.
Oh, I was gonna say I might need to update our stream background now to the new.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Jedi
that's
so,
graphics.
fucking beautiful.
Yeah, well, I'll just put
Have
it
you
up
not
over the
seen
cameras
this,
real
Tom?
quick.
I have not. I don't
It's
ever go.
amazing.
dude,
I don't
it's
go to high tech ever.
absolutely
gorgeous.
nuts.
Yeah, okay, I'll just put it over everything, so
It's
over top
fucking
of all that
fantastic.
stuff.
Yes,
yeah,
I've
yeah,
not
so
seen
this
it.
is
Like nobody wants to see our faces.
No, I've not been to Jita.
Dude,
in probably a
this-
year.
So-
it's gorgeous.
yeah, with the new foundation update, it's not. I mean, they're gonna like slow roll updates coming out eventually, but initially, one of the things was, they expanded the
Jita's got
because
to
they
have
did
the
like the
best
whole
art
Jita
department
rework
on the face of the
outside.
earth, right? They have the
They-
best art department out of all of gaming.
yeah, they-
got
they-
it
Oh, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an E-related question for all of you guys.
God,
Well,
this is
like,
beautiful.
let Drayden finish his point.
Yeah, just real quick. So they before they redid the Jita outside to make it look more like a trade up. Well, now they've redone so when you're in Jita 4.4, this is your docking. This is where you are at, and it looks much more like a giant mega trade hub rather than just you're a random ship. I do have to bring, I think it was
love
Satonia
it.
that brought it up. Like these hangars on the side, you got hangar 65, 66, 67, 68, which leaves, he's like, are we in hangar
Wait,
69?
We're in, yeah.
We are
course.
hangar 69.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so I actually haven't,
Almost better than 42.
I haven't undocked yet. Did they, Swift, did they do more external work on this as well?
Well,
No,
undocked.
I
Just
don't
find
think
out.
so.
Just look
The external
outside.
one has been like solidified for a bit.
Okay.
For a while, Jita was like under construction on the outside.
Yeah.
And it was like literally under construction.
It scares me to see this many neutrals on my overview. I'm not
It's
used to
been
high sec.
completed now, so it's been looking like this on the outside for some time.
With
pretty
that
nice,
cool
though.
elevator thing.
Yeah, it
to
looks
the
really
planet.
good.
Yeah,
It's
I
got
love
like
all
a,
the-
a
Cool shit,
Vegas
man.
feel to it.
Yeah, it's just got all
Yeah.
the ads and the billboards. It's so good. I love it.
Bright lights.
Also,
big
yeah,
city.
I mean, like
Hopefully we'll have player
you got
ads
the whole
there
big
someday.
city. I don't know if that's new or not, but like I remember it wasn't that long ago that I noticed that there's a giant ass mega
yeah,
metropolis
that's
on
new.
Yeah, with the elevator.
They've got
Yeah,
the
there's a
space
space
elevator.
Yeah,
elevator
you got the
too.
elevator
Goes
here
back
with
and
the-
forth.
you
It's
can-
fucking cool. Yeah,
I think you can see
Jesus
the
shit.
little.
I've seen
line
the
right
outside of it. I've not seen the inside.
Go
though.
go back inside, Drayden. Everybody knows about the outside. Go back to the inside.
I still enjoy the fact that my Instadoc bookmark is now inside the structure
Yeah, yeah.
because
Mine
it's
too.
grown over it.
That's
Oh, that's awesome.
I had to redo my bookmarks. My Insta undock was all screwed up too because they like
there. Yeah, it's just
They
oh,
changed
Oh, they
where-
changed
So
the
good.
yeah.
It's-
Look at
oh, it's even
this.
got a Gita 4.4 like
could be in a
welcome
little
to
less
Gita 4.4
embarrassing
sign.
shit.
You
I
got
like
the
that little
Quake.
hologram there. Yeah.
Quake.
That purple. I love the addition.
What's
We're
purple?
starting to see. I know, Dom. I'm so sorry. You can't see purple. The Quaif logo up in the top
Oh, no,
right corner.
Oh,
yeah.
is
there.
it seriously?
It's in
It's
it's
a
in this
bright
really
like neon
bright
purple.
neon
yeah.
purple. It's
It
gorgeous.
should have a
That
Starsea
sucks.
logo. They're in the Caldari space.
But there's one ad that's circling on these billboards, and I called out the
This
art-
also looks
not-
like Humanic right here. The he doesn't like.
Oh yeah,
I always thought it
people-
was him. I thought
people-
Every
I
time I
got-
saw that, I
got-
thought it was a Manic Velocity ad.
I did
I got
too.
messages on Discord. People thought that was me, but it's not.
Yeah.
You don't
what
know
was
it's
I
not.
saying?
It might be you.
I don't know. You were talking about the purple Quaif ad.
you're
and
saying
then
there's a
something.
billboard.
Oh, there's a billboard. So yeah, it's one of the Caldari Navy like recruitment ads. So but the animation of the Jita logo, it's got this like swooping swoosh that forms the J, and then it bounces up to form the stars on. It just happened on the left side there, right in the. No, never mind. No,
It's gone
this
now.
will
It's
be
a
here all
little
night.
delayed. Oh shit.
But no, I love little things like that, like logo design kind of
It's coming up.
fascinates
Don't
me,
move,
and so
don't move the camera anymore. It's coming up.
but yeah, I just kudos. I said this a couple of weeks ago. Like, the CCP art department is world class,
sure.
class
This is
artists
amazing.
working on this
Yeah, I like
game,
it.
and yeah, I made the joke.
The
a
only- the
couple
only
of
thing
weeks
that
ago
makes me sad
they
is that
need-
this is
they need
only
to
Gita
screw up
4.4,
every
like,
now and then.
you don't get this in every station undock. It's
And
only
you shouldn't get it
Yeah,
every
it's
station.
It's only,
though.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
you should. It makes it that much more special when you go to
we
Cheetah,
gotta
right?
have,
But
but I think
I
I think all-
would
I think
not
all
be
of the station-
opposed to them going further on this and just making more unique station docks of
Yes,
different
I-
stations.
I
and that's
totally
the
think
thing.
that'd be
The,
great.
the
I would
Jita
be
one
totally
should
okay with that, but I know that's a lot of
Jita
work.
should be
but-
unique. Jita should be a
I agree.
unique design because
But there should be
of-
more models, maybe.
But
out
yeah,
there,
there more newer upgraded station interiors would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
I've
do
done
like
ships
this
too.
though.
It's pretty. And
Yeah,
that was all
pretty.
thanks to CCP Swift, everybody. He did it.
Thanks, Swift.
We've
Thank
been
you, Swift.
asking
Thanks,
him
Swift.
for
Appreciate
months to get this
I'm
up.
No one
Yeah.
else gets credit, right?
And it
I'm gonna
finally
get shanked by the art
he
department. when I
finally
show
did it
up
all
now.
himself.
Saying
So
that.
everybody out there, shots to CCP Swift
Hell
for giving
yeah.
us the new Jita station
We got a
interior.
shop for. Also, Darwin's in chat. I know. Now I don't know if Darwin. I know he's in the art
Swift
department. I don't know if
welcome
he
trouble
did
now.
the Jita document. I know he did work on the CCP Aura rework as well.
The new Aura model. So she's
The new
three
Aura model.
dimensional.
Yeah.
She's a like a character, and
Can I have a turn on?
with voiceover lines, and she's fully animated, and it's cool. It's really cool.
She's pretty
Yeah.
sassy
Oh.
too.
Yeah. Oh, he's actually been. Wow. I didn't. Okay, so I know that CGI and like work like that takes a long time, a lot of effort. like you look at like the CGI stuff, like Lord of the Rings, like that CGI, that little scenes like that, like short that takes teams of like dozens of people, several months. And so if it's like a few people, like a team at CCP, like 3, 4, 5 people, it's a long time. He was just saying, Darwin was saying, like the Aura rework was his last 2 years of his life, essentially, like, working on.
Well, and he clarified, because I'm going to ask. He says mostly the systems underlying it.
Oh, so they had to make something that makes her work.
So
it's not just an art
my
design,
understanding, and Darwin can tell me I'm full of shit if he wants to, if it ends up being true. Don't tell me I'm full of shit when I'm not. But from what I remember, they did a presentation of this in Vegas 2019, I think. Yeah, it was 2019. But from what I remember is, like, they were taking just regular, like, CCP devs, sitting them down in front of like a blank background and recording them reading these lines, just recording their actual faces. But then they were able to take that recording and like procedurally model it onto the Aura NPC. So it's not, and this is from my admittedly shoddy memory, it's not like they're going in and hand animating Aura's movements and making, tweaking her lip syncing. They're just taking a recording of somebody's face and applying that to the model, which I think is amazing. And it could mean like really quick turnaround time if they want to animate all of the like mission agents. They just have to record somebody reading the mission text, and they can apply that animation to the model.
It's pretty amazing.
I have no idea how any of that works. Excuse me,
Quiet.
Darwin.
I agree.
Does say
Cool.
that there was no
I was
facial
trying to
No,
help you
shot-
out
recognition.
there, Manic.
It's fine.
Freedom's calling for shots, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. I'll finish out the string. Yeah, I mean, like, to Darwin for the Aurora rework, and like not just him, his team.
To all the CCP guys,
all the
great
CCP art department,
effort
like, this
Everybody
stuff,
who's
going on.
involved
This
in
stuff
this
is,
stuff, it's impressive work.
Oh,
big
everybody.
claps all around.
Fuck
like,
yes.
for sure.
I love
It's-
all of CCP. Imaginary drink.
Yeah, I mean, it's excellent. It's some good stuff. More stuff coming out with the Foundation thing is and we are going to be getting into your CSM stuff, Arcia, but it's getting into, they're going to be focusing on the 4 empires, effect on the game, or I have to ask you a little bit more on that, maybe if you've heard more on that, because I know that, or if Swift, if you know, like, with Foundation thing, because it's a little vague in the dev blog. They're saying like they're going to be, bringing in like each of the 4 empires, and they're going to have a video for each one, and kind of like more just broadening the lore on it.
So the quadrant, right, just kind of bundles similar kind of ideas together in terms of the releases. And so this quadrant is called Foundations, and there's bits and pieces about each of the 4 empires in there. There was also a lore event leading up to it, which Arcia knows quite a bit about. But essentially, it's the event that's going on right now. The Equilibrium of Mankind, which are like this crazy Amarian shoot-off cult. They tried to like coax the empires into war, and now the empires are like kind of dialing back a lot of their tensions, because they all thought that each of the other ones were like trying to get out of them. But nope, it was EOM all along. No spoilers.
There was okay, so I actually have it ready as well, because I was getting this set up all year. The CCP put out a little quick tidbit on Twitter, a little video thing. It's short, but this is I wasn't sure exactly what this was. I knew it was like lore oriented, but I was like, it seems ominous, so I'll play this real quick.
Now is the
Oh,
time
still
to
in artist
open
prayer.
the gates of paradise.
That dude's voice.
Yeah.
That's the founder of EOM, Ursuline Ardishiver. So as CCP Smith said, EOM is a heretical offshoot of the Amarian
Now
religion
is
that thinks by destroying everybody who is not them, they can get the Eve Gate, which is the gate to paradise, to open once again. So
Back to
they're
Earth?
literally just trying to kill everybody else in the cluster. And what they did is there was a string of dreadnought attacks that were trying to frame the other empires to go to war with one another. And we know that at least 3 of the 4 dreadnought attacks that happened in the last week by the NPC factions of various planets were EOM. We don't know that the Philosophism one was not ordered by Sarum. That one might actually be Sarum.
The ceremony
So-
is a little bit kooky as well. So
Yeah, so the what was it in the gates to paradise? So that's the Eve Gate, you're saying?
The EOM believe that behind the Eve Gate is paradise, and they open it once again. They can get it open by killing everybody who is not them.
Oh,
So they are just literally trying to murder everybody. This is not like when they dropped that Titan on Kaha 3 just a few days ago, the Titan and all the dreads shooting the planet. That was not the first time they used the Titan to basically mass murder people on the planet. Back in 2006, EOM used like one of the old style doomsdays on the planet of Reichard 5 and wiped out like 90% of the life on that planet. And then that Titan yesterday might have been the one that got away in 2006 and came back. Not yesterday, but 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that.
that's a. So it's weird though, because I mean, like the Gate to Paradise. I understand like it's a much more of a religious thing at that point, but I mean, like, do people? So this is more like a lore question again. Like, do people in the New Eden cluster know that the Eve Gate? Like, do they know about Earth, or is that just so far back
Yeah.
in time
So
that they don't
Earth-
even really remember Earth at all?
is not known about specific. Like some scientists think that people are related and they have a common ancestor from
So
somewhere.
it's basically relegated
But-
to myth, isn't it?
Earth is mostly a myth, and it's like debated between scientists whether or not people have a common ancestor.
Okay, but it's
Um,
it's not myth
it's
or
not
not.
known,
It's not
yeah.
unheard of. Like a lot of people, whether they think it's a myth or not, like they've heard of quote unquote Earth. Then
I mean, some people would just look at you like, yeah, you're just crazy. And some people are like, no, I think that we have a common ancestor because the DNA would be similar enough. But
okay,
yeah, Earth is like the name of a hypothetical place that people were living before they traveled.
I think it's a great way to give a sense of the scale of time that we're talking about in
It's like
Eve.
20,000 years, isn't
Like how
Yeah, it's-
far
it's
ahead in like
thousands.
the humanity basically went through a second like extinction age barely.
Yeah, exactly.
To the point where
they essentially
to
like
the point
rediscover
where
and
they're debating
evolve.
whether or not Earth actually ever existed. Like that's how far in the future they are.
And I don't know a lot about a lot of the Eve lore, honestly, which is weird because most games I play, I'm like balls deep into the lore. I love lore when it comes to games, but and this is something that when we get into the CSM thing, I will touch on is that it's because it's
Balls deep is
not
pretty deep.
it's not super apparent in Eve. It's not something that you just come across.
So
it's,
I think
it's something you have to go research online, and that's the only way you're really going to find anything about it. Because generally, when you're doing missions in Eve, it's just, hey, these
You gotta
people
get
on this
balls deep,
planet are out
baby.
of food. Go bring them some foodstuffs, and then you got to pick up these janitors, and because this station needs some cleaning or something. I don't know. It's like
so
those are your
one of
missions.
the reasons why I'm running for CSM is exactly that I think that the lore and I think the setting and the lore of Eve is one of the best settings of any game I've ever played ever. And I think that sometimes it's not always utilized as well as it should be. And I kind of have the feeling that that's what this quadrant is about. This Foundations quadrant, like that series of attacks that culminated with the Titan attack on Kaha 3 just this last week. That character that was flying the Titan was a character that many of us have been fighting with since 2015. This is a character that has bombed places that are connected to player characters' backstories, and the events leading up to this event were affected by player actions over the last 5 or 6 years. And a lot of people don't know that any of this happened up until last week. And I think that it's a missed opportunity because you can get a lot of content out of using this fantastic world to drive player interactions.
like you just, so I had no idea that this has technically been an ongoing fight for multiple years. No idea that, and I've been involved with Eve since 2009. I had no idea that this was
All right,
going on.
So
Like, why aren't we seeing articles written about this?
there are there. So there's a community, a world news
So,
site that CCP writes news articles, but they didn't even put it on their like new news site. Like,
and when I say articles, I mean, like, why isn't somebody like Kotaku or any other gaming site that you want to name writing about this? Because I mean, it's an ongoing fight for 5 years and nobody's talking about it.
like this is an ongoing storyline for 5 or 6 years. That character, Alar Chakade, who flew the Titan, was one of the characters from the Amar tournament who picked the potential champions for King Khanid, and he was called out then for picking a potential Blood Raider or a known Blood Raider as one of the potential champions for King Khanid. The person he picked was a player character named a Deity who RP'd as a Blood Raider. A lot of the Amar basically were super angry, like the characters, not the people.
This is the
I-
tournament
I-
after like
I think I
the Empress
remember this.
Jamil died.
Yeah.
Yeah, after
Okay.
Jam Jams got made into Jam Jam by the Drifters.
Jam Jams. That's adorable.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, Jam Jams is kind of what people call Jamel.
Well, so we might as well just segue. I mean, like we got 40 minutes left, and I think we could fill it up. We should just segue into the CSM stuff then, because I know that this lore stuff is going to tie in with that as well.
Yeah, so the rest of the quadrants for Foundation, right? It does, when it's released, it's like, oh, we want everything at once. But no, there's going to be releases. There are some that have happened already, like some tweaks to Pochvin, which people have,
Right, I didn't mention
learned
that.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the gates outside of home systems, right? So the home system still require 7.0 standings, but all the other gate restrictions have been lifted. So you can now go into Pochvin. It's super dangerous. It's what they call space hell. So it's spooky, but you can take gates now without standings. And you can start kind of doing some of the sites there if you want, and grinding standings a little bit easier. And if some guys that are chasing you, you can actually chase after them now, so unless they go into the
I
home
do
station.
like that because I was, again, I was not super involved in any of the invasion stuff, but I do like the idea of the whole Pochvin, all that stuff. But it was kind of like if you took a wormhole and found a way into a Pochvin system, if you were not part of the Triglavian faction, you couldn't take the gates, right? You were just you were in that one system and you were stuck there, or you can go back through your wormhole and get out, or take a filament that got you
Or
out.
death
as well.
clone, right? You can death clone out.
I mean, there's always that option, but now, so even if you have nothing to do with Triglavians, you get into a Pochvin system, you can like traverse the Pochvin pocket now, right?
Yeah, you can go through what is it, 24 of the systems. It's still hard to get into the home systems, but the home systems are kind of like shoot off to the side, so you're still good.
Yeah. But it still
I
allows like
don't wanna talk about,
roaming
like, all the
roaming into Triglav space though. I like that though.
Yeah. I know the people that live there are sad because there's now more people there. But I think
their
outside of-
absolute safety is like.
I thought you were
hampered now.
insulting them for a minute there because you said the people that live there are sad.
Yeah, oh, no.
They're so
They're
sad.
about
What
the
a bunch of
situation.
losers.
as one of the Edencom Defense Initiative FCs, I agree. No.
They are sad.
But there's
No,
other
no,
like
they're
cool
great.
teasers in the Foundation update, right? We have a teaser about the reserve keys, which will be coming in this quadrant, which are super nifty, right? If you guys have been tinkering with
the banks.
the ESS, right? There's like a bank that pays out every 2 hours that you can go and rob, and then there's this like ultra giga bank that's just getting fat stacks.
Yeah,
And it's been getting
there's like
fat stacks.
like 4 or 5. There's like over 4 or 5 trillion ISK in all these different banks. Like
What?
Oh yeah.
cumulative. Not like it's not like you're gonna rob one bank and get like trillions of ISK, but
Okay. Okay.
I'm saying between all the ESSs, there's a bunch of different like big banks. I don't exactly know how the bank stuff works, but there's a bunch of different of these banks that have been banking money this whole time that the ESS changes happened, but no one's been able to access those core banks, and now they're eventually going to be coming out with these keys that you can get somehow, and then go and access them and pay your guys out, or rob them if you want.
The keys and the mechanics are going to be released this quadrant, which is super dope. I'm very excited. I know if you guys follow some Eve streamers. Bjornby was like really into this when this first came out. He created a corp called Bank Robbers,
Yeah.
and that was going to be his whole thing. Unfortunately, like it didn't quite work out because of the way that the ESS is right now. Like it doesn't really support like 10 dudes splitting 40 million ISK. I mean, it can, but it's not sustainable that way. But when the reserve keys come out, it's going to be like 50 or 60 people trading 20 billion ISK, right? Like some of these systems
Yeah, it's gonna be
are
a problem,
super
yeah.
yoked. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait to see the
Yeah,
explosions.
this
there.
would be good. So Thumbware is saying I don't understand the bank stuff at all. Essentially, so ESSs were things that they eventually came out. Like every system has an ESS now. So when you rat, a portion of your ratting income goes into the ESS. Now the ESS, you can people can try and rob those and steal the extra portion because essentially like it's like interest. Like a portion of it goes into the ESS, but after a while that increases, and so you can get paid out extra. Also based on the activity in your system. If you're over adding, it's going to drop down to I think just normal. But if it's in a system with a lot of PvP or it's under ratted, then you can get bonuses. So you can essentially make more money than you would ratting in those systems. But essentially, I guess a portion. Now, is it a portion of the money that was ratted, or is it just extra money that's being matched with the money
It's
that
a
was ratted going
portion of
into
the
these
money
extra
that was
banks?
It's a percentage of the bounties.
Okay.
Exactly. So you rat in the system. There's two things with that came in, which is the dynamic bounty system. So the more you rat in a system, the lower it gets. So your payout kind of gets shitty if you stay in one system forever. But if you move around, you can actually you can get like 180% payout, right? So you get a lot more.
Yeah.
And then a portion of your ticks for everyone's ticks and all their bounties for killing pirates goes into this thing called the ESS. And every 2 hours, it's released off back to the players, unless someone goes in and tries to steal it. The mechanics for stealing it is you go into this thing called the ESS, you activate it. You have to be in a cruiser or higher to get in. No capitals. You get stuck in this little bubble, so you can't warp out. Your micro warp drive is disabled, so it's
Does
essentially
it
just
still
all
alert everyone that
afterburners.
you're stealing it?
Yeah, and then you connect
It
to
alerts
this
the
thing.
whole
You sit
system
there
in local?
for 6
Yeah.
minutes, and then there's 6 minutes of you robbing that ESS, and then you get out and you run away. But
And
there's a
you get,
portion of that.
Yeah, 70%. You get 70% of what it was.
There's a portion of that that goes into this like super reserve bank, and that's just been building up and building up for months and months and months. So that's what's kind of getting released in this quadrant. So that's one of the cool things. The other one that I think people will be really excited about, that was hinted at. I hope it was hinted at. Hold on, let me just double check. Yeah, there's like a teaser about some Stargates in this one that was announced on April 1st.
Oh yeah,
Hey, who
the
knows what's gonna happen there?
low sec gate to stain.
Maybe that was just a joke. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's who knows?
I mentioned in Talking on Stations chat, I think it was earlier this week, that now that CCP they've set the precedent that when they make an April Fool's joke, they now have to follow through with it. So every April Fool's Day joke in the future, now it has to become a real thing in the game because you've set the precedent.
CCP Fozzie used to have this
In before
long-standing
cat ears,
tradition.
drone implants.
Cat ears.
Yeah.
CCP Fozzie used to put out balance passes on April 1st when he was first over there, and people weren't quite sure if it was a joke or real, and then they'd become real. People would be like, "Oh damn you, CCP Fozzie, you got me again." So maybe that's gonna happen again this time. But you'll learn more about that later.
There was what Max was saying, there's a mention of new gate with the Empire's new gate accesses opening up. That should be, and I'm interested to, I'm obviously, even if you knew or not, you wouldn't be able to say. I'm just wondering if what's that Poshman system that was the big bridge between Jita and Amar?
Nyarja.
Nyarja. Is it going to fix the Nyarja break? Or
who knows? I mean, the Empires. So the Foundation is going to be focusing on the Empires. There's going to be a trailer for each of the Empires. You can learn a little bit more about each of the groups. You can maybe learn a little bit about the backstory, but we're not going to force feed you the backstory or anything. It's just going to be take as much as you want. there's some other initiatives that we have where we're going to make RCA very happy. And some of the lore stuff is going to be a little bit more public, so you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to be made aware of it more. So that's a project that's coming. Yeah, there's also a lore change log that's Team Inkling's doing, so that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. We're so happy about that in the RPG.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff coming in this quadrant. I know like the release is like, it's like, oh, there's stuff coming, cool, but there was like, I don't know, but there's exciting things.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also there's gonna be they're saying more ship balance. No, they said balance changes, so ships, modules, whatever it's gonna be. Polynomcy, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. What's up, man? I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah, so I mean, it should be fun. I do want to get it. We have half an hour left. I want to get into Arceus CSM campaign though. Sorry to make you wait.
No worries.
But no, we were gonna do it. I actually wrote down a bunch of notes and stuff. So before we get into any of the question stuff, I mean, like if you want to just give like a brief rundown of we had Rick's on a few weeks ago, and we're just like give us a summary of the spiel of your platform, and then we'll get into some of the questions.
All right, so for those that don't know me, I am an EVE player of 11 years who spent around 7 of those years in faction warfare. I've spent most of my time as a PvPer, and my campaign focus is on both low sec faction warfare, low sec, and I also do want to give love to non-faction warfare, low sec, ship module balance, lore availability, and use as a content driver, which is honestly one of the really big things that this quadrant I think is focusing on, and I have a lot to say about that one. And I also really care about the new player experience, because I think that a lot of the really unintuitive parts of EVE are very important parts of EVE that maybe people aren't taught as readily as they should be. Some of the things that I talk about, as obviously CSM is not like what changes. We don't go to CCP and tell them I want these changes, but the kind of things that I gave examples of what I would support would be like, for faction warfare, for example, I would want to fix the incentive to stack people on the winning side. Like right now, the tier system is set up to encourage more people to jump to the winning side, and it leads to the current cyclical nature of farmers controlling the Warzone control levels. Like they farm the hell out of one side and they flip to the other side because that's what makes the most sense money wise, and it really takes agency from the people who are playing it to enjoy it away. And I think things like, in my opinion, eliminating the tier system and changing the reward structure would, like, for example, like I don't think the mission LP should be the same LP that you get from fighting and from plexing, because that like the people just farming missions on 3 accounts devalues what the LP that the PvPers are making. For lore as a content driver, like you mentioned that you didn't know this whole storyline's been going on for like 6 years, that like culminated with the Titan attack on Kaha 3 the other day. And there's been like major wars that were fought over parts of this storyline. Like back in 2018, there was a string of planetary bombings that there was mainly just CCP writing news articles. Like a news article would come out, and like there'd be several big player fights over it. Like it culminated in a war that happened in the high sec system of the Becca that had a battle reached like 150 players in a high sec war. Like I don't know that I've ever seen another high sec battle that big in I mean, there might have been some with like everybody jumping on Pyrat. I think that happened a couple times, but Elise could probably tell you a bit about the Becca because she was supposed to write an article about it back. I think we're getting it Monday.
Yeah, it'll be coming out some Monday. Yeah.
But like 15 minutes of CCP work ended up in like multiple months long wars for some of the players, like for up to hundreds of players. And I think utilizing this is something that CCP could do a bit better than maybe has been done in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, because I remember when I first came to Eve, I distinctly remember making kind of a mental note how the lore was really just articles on the Eve website, like way back in the day. There weren't really like in-game events going on, and you weren't really exposed to the lore of this universe inside the game. If you wanted to read about stuff, it was like the scientific articles on the Eve website. And part of me thought that was kind of cool because I understood that the reason they were doing that is because maybe the game engine was maybe a little limited. There was some stuff, there were these stories that they wanted to tell that they couldn't tell in game. So the best you could do was an article on the website. So in that regard, it kind of gave them some flexibility. But yeah, I distinctly remember when I first joined the game how the lore wasn't really present.
So when did you first join the game? What year?
2009.
2000. All right. So 2009 is like there's a lot of in-game events leading up like to incursions and a little bit after that, and then it sort of died off. And like I started in 2010, so I started around the same kind of era that you did, and there was a bit of a lore drought for a while. Like there wasn't a lot of news and there wasn't a lot of events. And after like coming back kind of in like 2017 or 2018, we started getting more it seemed like we started getting more regular lore events. Like there was obviously like the Amar tournament in 2015 into 2016, which is like a tournament that determined the Empress. But like there was actually like in-space stuff with NPCs every so like actual like in-game events that you could see happening every so often from like 2000 at least 2018 until like present day, and just most of them just you didn't know about it unless you were watching the news when it came out and knew that this article, what this article says means you should go check this place out. And maybe sometimes if you check this place out at a time when CCP Delegate Zero is awake, that you might end up with some kind of event. Or if you post on the in-character forums about like somebody posted on the in-character forums that they were going to invade the planet of Kaha 3 because it was under fire in the news. Kaha 3 is the planet that was just bombed the other day. But back in 2018, it was in the news because it was bombed by the Blood Raiders with Deathglow, and there were slave riots on the planet. And somebody posted on the forums that they were gonna drop a freighter on the planet full of people and have an insurrection to save the slaves that were being bombed. And that NPC that showed up to fight the Titan with the Aeon, that NPC showed up there and killed the freighter, and like our peers from both sides showed up to either help or attack the player with the freighter, and there was like a big battle over that. And the event, there was like an event with like NPCs and that Aeon that popped out in high sec and killed the freighter. And it's like, if the person who was aggressed by the Aeon in the freighter like came back in a hick, maybe it could have gotten killed and wouldn't have come back to help the planet on the other day. But like those kind of events, they happen. It's just like you didn't know about it. Most people didn't know about it because it wasn't as widely advertised as like what we had in the last week was, where CCP was like streaming, oh, this is happening. And I think it's a shame because like as much as I was part of like the RP club that knew these things were happening, I think that everybody deserves these cool things. They're awesome, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I yeah. So when it comes to the, and think we talked a little bit about it last week, but yeah, when it comes to the lore, it definitely plays into, because there's a lot of people. I mean, Eve is a great community game, but there's a lot of people that like to play, just do their own thing, right? And if you had a really engaging, lore-driven, story-driven, quest-driven, missions, quests, whatever. Like, a lot of RPG games, they have essentially a thing where like you go and you feel like you're progressing a story, you're having an effect on the world essentially as you go through, and so. And I know there's a lot of lore. Honestly, I think Eve has a lot more lore than probably most of the games out there. But it's not very apparent. Because I did, when I first started the game, I was just doing some high sec missions for a while, and then eventually I moved to nullsec, and then I just did PvP. But I was doing the missions, and then you have this thing like you do an arc, and then like it kind of just repeats itself, and so you just get in this cyclical. You're doing the same thing over and over, and a lot of it, some of it was like you could see lore. It was like, okay, we're doing this, and then there's this, I was doing the Mar stuff, so it's like, like this family member from like this high ranking family in the Amar Empire. You have to go like save their daughter because she's gone off with this guy. You're doing stuff like that, and so you get a little bit of story if you're gonna read it, but it then you eventually get into like a we got to move some food over here. We got to do, and it's, you kind of feel like, wait, but I mean, all RPGs have those quests too, where it's like, hey, go stock this place up. But I feel like if it was more engaging, if there was a bit more of like an apparent just induction of lore into the mission running, I think that it would definitely cater to that audience that is out there that just like, I just want to, play an RPG, and an RPG in space would be fun. So, you could have that too, but.
So I think like the mission stuff is cool. But like I kind of focus on the lore as a content driver for players to get interaction with each other from. Like as cool as the events are, the thing that's really cool about them is that us sweaty RP nerds will be our characters will be yelling at each other for like years. Like CCP does like 15 minutes of an event, and then like our characters shoot each other for like a year and a half over it, right? And like a lot, like you said, a lot of the lore just doesn't seem like it's easy to find. When a news article comes out and is posted to the forums, it's not on the launcher. There's like not a pop-up. Like when CCP goes live on Twitch, you get a pop-up. It's why isn't there pop-up a new news article? It has come out right now, right? But there's not like an in-game compendium of lore of like if somebody on a mission says like something about Vitok, and it's like, oh, what is Vitok? You can just look it up real quick. I mean, you can look up like the item in game.
That would be so cool if there was an in-game encyclopedia.
Yeah, and like that's something that I feel could like be built in without like hurting the experience of the people who don't care for it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They'd be super optional.
And like even a lot of this stuff I'm talking about, like some people are going to be listening to me and be like, I don't care about the RP. I just care about my alliance, and like the way I envision a lot of these things is the way that a lot of these things have gone down, where like it's been super interesting and produced a lot of content for all the people who have cared about it and known that it's existed. But like even like that war with like 150 people in a single battle in high sec over RP news, like the fact that we got deal. That it didn't like hurt the experience of like the people who were like, I want to do a high sec war. Like it didn't like force people to come out of null and participate in a war if they didn't want to, but it gave people who did want to, provided that they knew about it, which is the key, the ability to have probably the best high sec war I've ever seen, as that I've ever been part of. Like that was the biggest battle, but there was like a month to 2 months of fights of various sizes that happen in the system. And we've heard from CCP devs that like that fight was really, really important because it was like right after like the first stage of the war deck changes. And there are all these there are people watching that war and they're like, we don't know why they're fighting until like CCP Delegate Zero apparently told them why they were fighting. And at least that's what I heard. It's just it's something that can give a lot of people who care about the story and using the story as a catalyst for this content without hurting the content of people who don't give a crap, right?
Well,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, like, the people that don't care, I mean, they can go off and do other things. So I mean, like,
Yeah, there's
So
there's
the
easily
fact-
room for this.
yeah, there's plenty of, if you're doing lore content, mission content, faction warfare content, and you're doing that for like the lore, then that's what you're focused on. So that's what you want. But if you don't want that, then there's, I mean, you could be doing faction warfare just for the PvP. You could be doing nullsec for the. I mean, like, there's plenty of other options. It's not like that you have to. If you're not
Yeah,
into the
no.
lore of the game, then you don't have to like get into
That-
it. Really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of changes where like some people would like it and some people would be like, no, this hurts my game, and there'll be a lot of fighting over. But I think this is just like a free win, and a free win that more people appreciate than a lot of people seem to realize. Like with the invasions, which was a lore-driven event.
And that was a lore-driven event that actually like affected
Yeah,
a much larger significant portion of Eve than some would have liked, but at the same time than people would have initially
But,
realized when they were announced. I thought.
with the invasions, there was a lot more engagement than they expected, and I was one of the FCs on the Edencom side, and CCP, like some of the CCPers didn't expect there to be an organized Edencom side, from what I've heard, because what they expected was a small Triglavian side and locals defending their local systems, and then after the invasion going back to what they were doing. What they got was a big Triglavian side and a big organized Edencom side. So two big organized sides, and there were a lot of role players on both. Like the Edencom side was big because it was predominantly the old hat. The backbone was predominantly the old hat RP PvPers like Lumen and EM and Phoenix Naval Systems and other various unassociated RPers, and then all the people who got picked up because we defended their system and they wanted to stay on, and various other people all came together, form a pretty big side. And there are a lot of people on the Triglavian side who, in addition, for the people who just thought there needs to be more low sec or more null sec for whatever, we need to break the connection of Niarja. There was also a lot of people who are just like, Triglavians are cool, and they formed like new RP alliances like Strebog Clade, right?
They do have like some of the
Trig-
coolest
right?
looking gear, I would say. I mean, like all the characters that just went into like the full Triglavian
think
get-ups. It's like
It's
it's,
I think
it's edgy and
the
cool. at the same time.
Triglavians were expertly crafted to be so fucking cool.
Yeah, they're
And-
like the cool, edgy, like, oh, look at those bad. They're supposed
And,
to
like-
be
Very true.
bad guys, but they're so fucking cool.
And like the things about these wars that get started over RP is non-RPers get into them because they want to shoot the RPers, right? Like the
That's a good
the
point, yeah.
Flossus Win war in Losec in the system of Flossus Win was started over an NPC responding to a shitpost on the RP forums, and then everybody just piled into the system because there were people to shoot there repeatedly, and it became like this several months of ridiculous loss numbers in the system of Flossus Win over that system control, and it was like RP shitposting that started that, right?
Yeah, the cool thing is like with all the lore, there's an entire team dedicated to it. It includes CCP Delegate Zero, who's been at CCP for as long as I can remember. He's one of the longer names. He was at CCP while I was on the CSM 10 years ago. He's really like the Kevin Feige, if you guys are Marvel fans. He's the Kevin Feige of the Eve universe. And there's just so much about the Eve universe that's like coolly connected. I've been like digging into the internal wiki to learn some things, and there was like a ton of cool shit that the players haven't even figured out yet, or hasn't been revealed to them yet about things that go back some time. But to Arceus' point, there is like some of the stuff that or we are like getting certain tools or better tools, I guess, to sort of introduce a lot of these stories. The journey is not yet complete, right? We're still starting it, but CCP TV is a great way to let people learn about this. So if you're like playing in game and you see a little pop up that says CCP TV is live, you should check it out just in case. You might not know. CCP TV filmed all of the attacks on planets. There's another like little project in the works as well that I'm like a part of that'll hopefully be apparent in 2 or 3 weeks or so, where you can see some other lore stuff. So yeah, it's definitely like one of those things where we can see that there is potential, but it'll be interesting to see how the players respond to it.
Having the community team be part of the lore and faction warfare team is a very smart idea, actually.
I want to
get them
be
on
one of the
code.
player characters that shoots like the event actors that shoots the players. That's gonna be like that's where I want to go.
So-
I want to be the guy in the Titan that's just doomsdaying planets and like blapping players who are like moving 0 speed.
So
That'd be
Swift,
fantastic.
the question I have is, and maybe you can't answer, maybe you're just going to shrug your shoulders, but like how much of the decision to have this current Foundation quadrant came off of CCP seeing how engaged the role players were with the invasions and how awesome they were, right?
So I don't know for sure, right? So I literally started in like February, not even February, like beginning of April, really. So pretty much I've done I've done nothing in anything that you've seen. I have been in like CSM meetings where the CSM has talked to certain teams. And you know, there are a lot of areas that people probably don't understand where the CSM has influence. It's not just like the CSM being a junior game designer. They meet with these teams. They spend hours talking to these guys and girls, and just like doing brain dumps, saying, "Hey, I'm an expert in this area of the game. Here is like a problem, right?" The game designers don't necessarily want to hear like, "Here's my fix. Go implement it," right? But if you identify a problem, then they have something to solve it, and that's one of the stronger things that the CSM does, and that's why the CSM is hugely, hugely, hugely important. I was on the CSM as a player.
Was that
Um,
8?
I was on 6 and 7. I was an
6 and-
alternate
okay.
in 6, and then a full-on normie in 7. There's no alternate system anymore, right? So that's
Yeah.
all out the window. But yeah,
I always called the
it's-
alternates Sword Dragon because he was always just like, he didn't make it, but we know he'll get there because someone's gonna
Yeah.
quit. So-
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the CSM is important, and you should absolutely. We're not even close to the thing there. We're still in like the application phase, right? So there's I think 8 days left, where you can put in an application, and then after that we kind of review the applications, and then the campaign period starts, which is very fun. It's where you'll see people going on podcasts a little bit more, talking more about what they believe in, the areas of the game that they represent, and also like there will be CCP TV interviews as well, like last year. That is definitely coming back. I don't know if that's been officially announced, but I just did it by accident. Sorry. And then there's voting, and then voting will be this big whole thing. And yeah, then we'll have a CSM, a CSM 16. I mean, we already have a CSM.
Yeah.
So, how many candidates so far? Do you know?
I didn't look at it was like 30 something
42?
last week or something, but I think it's it might be higher now. I haven't looked at any new entries really, but
I think it's in the 40s right
I think I
now.
counted
40s.
42 last I checked.
Not all of them are like totally complete yet. Some people are
Sure.
still missing parts, but they still have like 9 days left
because
anyways.
one is that you have to make a post on the forums, then you also have to make an actual formal submission to CCP as well, right?
Yeah, there's 3 things you have to do if you want to be a CSM candidate. You have to write a post on the Jita Park Corner forums, the CSM forums, on the EVE Online forums. You have to put in an application on the little web app, which is actually super easy to do. It's just like your name, bullshit.
Yep.
And then you have to have a scan of a valid ID and send that to an email. It's csm-contact@ccpgames.com. And then once all that's in, then your application's good to go. We review it to make sure you aren't a bad person, or you meet all like the conducts that we expect. That's actually written in the CSM, not necessarily white paper because it's not a white paper anymore, but it's in the little CSM thing that's
Terms and conditions.
Yeah, it's essentially that, right? Make sure you're not like some sort of weird ISK seller trying to run for CSM.
There was a
had
couple. I mean, like most. I was surprised. Like most of the some of the CSM posts I was looking at were pretty short and basic and general, but most of them were at least people that were doing an honest run. There was only one trolley post I saw. At least the one, I don't know, maybe some of the new ones I haven't looked at, but there was one trolley one. I can't remember if he was a snuffed out guy or something, but he was basically like, it's like, hey, I'm running for CSM because I'm gonna kick shit in gear and fuck all the normies, and then it's like, what can you expect from me on the CSM? He's like, a free trip to Iceland, and I was like, all right, good post, dude. He's basically like shit posting on the CSM application form.
I can tell you exactly who that was too, because I've been going through. all of them.
I have him in the
it's
notes.
Thrawn Lannister. He is in.
It's
Snuff.
Thrawn
He's in
Lannister.
Israel.
Yeah, that's who. That's what I was
Yes,
thinking about.
yes.
There's a
My
legitimate
platform is
business.
doubling everybody's ISK.
Yeah, there is a guy running named Legitimate Business Opportunity, I think. There's Hello Kitty Online, who's a candidate that's hasn't finished their application, but they're close. So yeah, there'll of course be meme ones that probably won't finish the whole thing. They just want to do it for fun. But
is there a max number? Because I remember in the past there was like a max number of like, this many people apply, but we're only accepted. Is that this year going to be the same thing?
No. The max is
so all legit applications are going to be valid
The
runnings.
year I ran, there's like 86 people, I think.
Yeah, some people. So it's weird. It kind of goes in like these weird boom and bust cycles where people will see someone like Phantomite, right? So Phantomite comes from LoSec. A lot of people didn't expect him to come on, and so people like, now that he has done it, they're like, oh, sweet, I can do it too, maybe. So there's going to be a surge of people in that area. Wormholers historically have always like cut themselves off at the knees because the wormhole community is like
very polarized.
Yeah, they're very polarized. So they really, there's like 2 guys that'll run, and they'll take each other out before they even have a chance to make it there.
They know they want a wormhole candidate on there, but they can't decide which one.
Yeah, but they know they
that's the thing,
don't
like,
want
I mean, like
the
with
other
the
guy,
with
right?
the wormholers, like they all kind of have to pick a guy if they want to
won't
really
do it.
have a chance to get on there. That's the thing with like the. I mean,
Everybody wants. Their
everyone's
guy to
talking
get
about the null block. It's like the null blocks are so organized. It's like they're like half of the CSM is almost guaranteed to be null block, and then even more will be if the rest don't organize at least to some degree. And the thing is, like with the wormholers, there's just not enough wormholers that are organized together. They're so at each other's throats a lot. I think that it's like I think they refuse to be like, oh, we're not voting for that guy because he's with that wormhole group. It's like, do you want a wormhole CSM guy though? Because even if you all fight each other and hate each other, but like you all have to kind of at least do some back deal like horse trading to be like, who are we gonna get on there that's gonna represent all of us? Because they're not numerous enough. They have to kind of. I mean, Omeka Gold was surprising, I would say. I think that was probably the biggest surprise of the last one. In the fact that I don't think it's just when it comes to wormholers, like you just don't usually get the candidates that get all the wormholers behind them, and if you don't, they don't have a great shot at winning.
Yeah,
Because one half hates
Izuki-
the other. Yeah.
Izuki was the last wormhole candidate.
Izuki, yeah.
He was, I think he was on CSM 14, maybe 13. He wasn't on this latest one. He just barely didn't make it. And I think Laura Secco also ran last year and got very close from Hard Knocks. But once one guy does make it, they're like, "Oh wow!"
I saw there was a couple of
Zuki's
Hard
on the CSM, and then suddenly Wormholes get some love from ZSV. Shit, I want to go on here.
Yeah, I
So,
thought there was like at least two Hard Knocks guys that were running it. Or no, maybe it's two Volta. I mean, Sutonia is Volta, isn't he?
I mean, I think Sutonia is just Sutonia, right? Like he could be.
I think he's
Intercorp.
quote unquote Volta, but I don't know if he's running as a wormhole.
I think
guy.
you're right. Swift. He's got his own entity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I
I mean,
think
like-
when you vote, if you're gonna vote for Sutonia, you're gonna vote. It doesn't matter. He was in
I
Karma
mean,
Fleet once when he.
I don't know
ran.
why you wouldn't put. I mean, whether you put him top or bottom. I mean, like if Sutonia is not on your ballot somewhere,
You're doing it
I
wrong.
have questions for you. But I mean, like the guy is. I mean, whether you like him, I honestly, I don't know how you can't like Sutonia, and also he's just super knowledgeable of the game. He's got. I mean, like he's one of those guys where it's like he should be on your ballot somewhere.
I agree.
And the cool thing about the CSM is it's no longer first place votes. It hasn't been that way for some time, right? So you can rank the list of candidates that you want, right? So if you're like, I'm voting for Arcia, my number 2 candidate's going to be Thrawn Lannister because why not?
Yes, hell
and
yeah.
then my number 3 candidate's going to be like, I don't know, Hello Kitty Online. So if in the process Arcia doesn't get enough first place votes, then your vote still counts, right? It moves down to number 2. And if they don't qualify, then it goes down to number 3. CCB Aurora did an amazing breakdown
It was so good.
last year of
really
how
good,
each
yeah.
phase of the STV, the single transferable vote system worked out.
It was like watching some live sports event. I was I think we were talking not last week. I think it was the week before. Convict and Darwin. There was a bunch of CCB guys in the chat, and we were actually talking about that. And it was like this whole breakdown of how it worked, but it was like an animation she had going on. Like the votes were coming in, and then like when one person was confirmed out, then all of a sudden you saw their votes like swing over to. It was like this great
Like,
display of how. Now it didn't like give you an intrinsic knowledge of exactly how all the transferable votes work in depth. Like I have a general idea of how it works, but not like to the specifics, but enough. But it was fun to watch it. I had Blazing Bunny as my number 1 for the last one, and I was sitting there all excited, and then as soon as he lost, I was like, all right, now it's Brisk.
like
And Brisk was already in, so I'm like, okay, wherever it goes, give me Mike Azariah, like something. But it was funny. It was like watching a bracket of a sports, like a March Madness bracket. You're like,
no,
you're
but it's like
watching
one
your,
of
your
those
picks.
things. It's one of those things where you're like, my video game has a better voting system than my country. Like,
Right.
it's like,
It's literally true.
But with the single transferable vote works well when you have a bunch of spread out candidates. When you have a bipartisan party system where it's like it's going to be one guy or the other, it's not going to be. It just doesn't work that well, I think. Like so in the U.S. voting system, I don't think a single transferable vote would really be effective in changing. it.
I think it would be fantastic because
We're-
then you could vote for like a third party if you wanted to without
Yeah.
like.
Well, I mean,
worrying
I'm not
about
saying it
it.
would be bad. I'm saying like I don't think it would really
Utah just
change the
adopted,
outcome at all.
Ranked choice
'cause-
voting for local elections.
Yeah.
So that'll be in the next round of local elections. Here we'll do the single transferable vote thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the concept.
If
It's
if
great.
you have a bunch of candidates that like, have a decent shot, then that's cool. But I mean, like, I'm talking like presidential votes. It's like
No, but the thing
You got
is,
one
the
guy or
only
the other,
reason
and
they
it's
don't
like-
have a decent shot is because people are scared to like. I want to vote for this guy, but I don't want the guy I hate more to get in.
yeah.
And with ranked choice voting, it's like you can vote for who you want and not like against the person you don't want, right? Without hurting,
Oh,
without
one
the
other thing
spoiler
that
effect.
one other thing I wanted to talk about that wasn't American politics related. We can get back to that if you want to. I think
No,
it's
no.
better.
I would
no,
actually.
no,
I would
let's
prefer.
not.
I would prefer
But,
we.
uh,
I was
this
actually. I'm sorry
weekend-
we even went there. Let's not go back to that.
This weekend, there's also one community event I have to talk about because it's a cool one. It's the Anger Games, which is a 32 team 7 versus 7 double elimination competitive PvP game.
We're in the Sweet 16
tournament
now, right?
Yeah, it's a tournament.
It's a game.
We're down to 8. I think there are 8
Oh, it's
teams
Elite Eight now?
remaining.
Okay.
The finals are this weekend. So tomorrow, starting at probably 1700, maybe 1800. I should know this. I don't. I wrote a thing about it. Starting
early.
tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon.
Sometime
when you wake
tomorrow.
up. You'll see the teams fight it out. And then Sunday will be the grand finals. It's a best of 5. There is a possibility right now. The Imperium team is called Gundra Reloaded.
Okay.
They're in the same part of the bracket as the test team, and so it is there is a potential that these two teams can fight it out for all the marbles, right? There's a chance that they'll fight, and I think that's super cool.
There's a chance that the whole
would
Pappy
be fantastic.
Coalition breaks up over this.
It'll be maybe if
This
they
could be
do
the end of the
fight, they
war
can be
right
like,
here.
yo,
Yeah.
if we win, we'll self-destruct the T5Z Keepstar. If you win, you can put a
Oh.
Keepstar in 1DQ. Let's do it. And maybe
Dude.
That would be
that's-
fantastic.
Imagine that. Imagine that bet, dude. That's.
Ooh.
Yeah, whoever wins the
you
Angry
know what?
Games
I
wins the
mean,
war.
they don't listen to this show, but I'm putting it on Matani, on his step.
I know.
Make it
He
happen.
does not,
Take
he
that
does
bet.
not listen to the show.
And who's running test right now?
Billy.
Billy. Wait, I thought he's actually running test. I thought he was like. FC.
He not officially, but yeah, he is.
Okay. So Billy and Matani, like, you guys get this bet going. Put it down. And also, if
That's just test though, not the whole group. He didn't run all that.
it's test, and then yeah, I'm just saying, like, make it happen. Make it happen. I like bigger stakes bets. I like them. Eve bet went away. We gotta give us something. But...
We already lost we lost in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, Arceus team. Oh,
Yeah.
it was awful too.
We were in
Because
such a
I was
hard
watching. Not that it was awful that she played or
We
lost,
won our
but
first match.
during her match, there was also like one of the RP events that was going on at the same time. So she got like denied a match victory and denied the content of this live event that was going on. So it was like this double whammy.
No, no,
Ouch.
it was 15 minutes to when we go, and we're like, Dreads are getting flustered, when we're like, you're f***ing kidding me.
That's not fair.
Right.
CC,
That was
please.
that was an unforeseen accident. It was the
It
left
was
hand
like,
not talking to the right.
Yeah,
hand.
let's bomb the Minmatar planet right before Electus Matari goes out to play sports.
Yeah. But yeah, it is lots of fun. Some pretty cool commentators. It's all on Thunderdome as well, so you can see some shiny
What
ships.
a-
The Atana is allowed.
Funny,
What Twitch
funny
is
thing
it on?
about the Hunger Games.
It's
Ah.
the Event TV Twitch.
Even TTV. Okay, yeah.
Funny thing about the events, the RP events in the Hunger Games, one of the teams that beat us in the Hunger Games was Volta, and we won our first match against Spectre Fleet. We lost to Volta, and then after that, there was one of the Dreadnought attacks, and a pilot from Volta who was on the team that beat us got some of the items that dropped off of the Dreadnought that the NPC dev actors wanted. Because NPC dev actors made posts on the forums saying they wanted these items that the Dreadnoughts had, the encrypted ship logs. And one of the people from Volta who got it, who beat us in the Hunger Games, made a post on the forum saying, I am giving these to Electus Matari because it's a constellation prize for losing in the Hunger Games, right? And I'm going to be transferring them from this system to this other system at this time. War deck me if you dare, right? Like he tried to like beta fight with it, but we basically got an RP victory and got these items handed to us because we played sports.
You gotta activate
That's
your mic for that to
fantastic.
work, Swift.
I didn't want to make
Oh.
everyone go deaf and be rude. I was just having fun. I have a whole bunch of like party favors from Eve's 18th birthday.
Yeah, I went to Party City, but I couldn't find anything good. It was like all. I feel like it was all sold out. They had a shitload of like 2021 graduation stuff because it's May, I guess. So
I thought about getting
that's
some
true.
like graduation balloons. there were some like it's a boy, it's a girl balloons. I thought about getting some of those, hanging them
It's
up
a
on my
video
green screen.
game.
Yeah, the gender reveal aisle was completely stocked full.
Nobody's doing gender reveal
Nobody's doing
parties.
gender reveal things. Although I was like, there's no explosives in here. Who would buy
I'm
this?
always
No one
I'm
wants
all
any of
fireworks.
this. So like,
I am always so disappointed when I go to a gender reveal and it's one I've already heard of before.
That's pretty good.
It's really good.
It's-
The
that's
line's
good.
still here. I thought you left like an hour
I've been
ago.
lurking. I have nothing to contribute to this.
When are you gonna run for CSM?
Yeah,
Oh, please. I've already been to Iceland for free.
That's true.
that's true.
Wow.
I mean, I
It's,
feel like I can't
privileged
wait to go
Mayo
back.
Thanks for the
I know.
cheer.
Also, I would not. I don't know if I would be really good at it anyway, but I still just want to go back regardless.
It does take a special type of person to be willing to commit that level
Takes
of
a
work.
certain kind of crazy.
You gotta.
So props to Arcia for throwing her ring in the hat. I'm very,
Seriously. Like it's
Absolutely.
not easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would just be a little too nervous or something. I don't know. Like go up there and have to talk to people. Ugh.
Well, the thing that's changed for me between the last time there was a CSM election and now is that after COVID, I quit my retail job of forever, and I have like contracting work on the internet that isn't time dependent so much, that I now have the time and resources that I could actually do it, right?
Nice.
Because
That's cool.
it's not like a cakewalk. It's not, you have to like put effort into this.
Yeah, that. I mean, I've never been on the CSM. I've never even seen firsthand what the. And I've talked with Brisk, but honestly, he doesn't. He can't say everything, NDA and stuff. But I mean, just it's so much work. It's so much work. I can't even imagine how much work and time and effort it is. So it is not something that you're. All the people that are talking about, like that joke about the free Iceland trip. It's like that free Iceland trip is not worth the work. The only way it's worth the
It's
work
not
and
free.
the effort
Yeah,
you're putting into it is
they're
if it's
not-
something
they're
you
not going
actually
there to
want
drink
to
and party.
do. Like if you are actually wanting to put essentially a year of hard ass effort of your time into helping make the game you like better for the people that you play with, that's why you would do it, not for a few $1,000s worth of trip. Like it's because
Well, and
it's like the
not
amount of time
just-
and effort you put in. It's more
Yeah.
than a couple $1,000s worth of time.
And it's not just the trip to Iceland. They're doing regular like conference calls,
Weekly meetings,
like
bi-weekly,
yeah,
weekly, like,
meetings
it's
and
all the
Slack.
time.
Like they're constantly connected. So yeah, when you're not at your day job, you have to be committing some time, some of your free time to doing this shit pretty much every day. And yeah, when you do go to Iceland, you're not going there to party. You're sitting in boardrooms all day. You're sitting in meeting rooms and you're talking to people
Mhm.
all day. And
It's a
yeah,
party
you,
wherever
you,
I go.
you go
It's
out for
always a
drinks
party.
and they take them out to dinner and whatnot.
Yeah, they do
but
that stuff,
it's-
but they're still
it's-
talking business
it's-
when you do that.
Yeah, it's business. It's work. You're there to work.
My party is a work.
Yeah. If I was going to go to
Well, we just
Iceland, it would
party.
have to be for FanFest, and I would just be there to have fun. I would not. be
Yeah,
to
I don't, if I'm gonna
I'd-
go to
I'd
Iceland, I
rather
don't want to
pay
go
my
there to
way
work.
and have fun than like get sent there for free and have to.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine who would want to go to Iceland to work. Can anybody in this channel
Does anyone
speak
here
to that?
like know what that's
Can
like?
you
Does anyone-
imagine what that must be like to want to go to Iceland to work?
I'm super
That's gonna
dang
be
excited.
crazy,
All right,
right?
so I'm gonna
just
hopefully
giving you
knock on
shit,
all
dude.
of the
No.
wood. Hopefully, I'll be there in summer where like the weather's nice.
So June.
The
Just June.
probably-
So you'll
Right,
get,
acclimated
you'll
to
get
it
2 or 3
slowly,
months
yeah.
of nice weather,
Yeah,
and then
June,
it'll be
July
freezing cold
is
the rest
summer,
of
and
the
then
year.
it
then
goes
like
back
as
to
soon as
winter.
I get settled in, it's gonna be like the forever night,
Right.
a long
And you're going there from
winters.
Florida. You're going from like nice sunny like winters where you are like what 50
It's gonna be
degrees.
culture
I
shock,
wear
yeah.
I wear shorts in the winter here.
Oh,
I lived
man.
in, I
Forever
lived in
night
Manhattan
sounds
for.
I'm not even
Amazing.
anywhere close to Iceland's. Is it longitude? I think longitude.
Latitude.
Forever Night
Well,
sounds
both.
amazing. Do you see how pale I am? Do you know how fast I burn?
Oh, I burned
Oh, yeah,
so fast.
same.
Get night for days.
Latitude. Yeah, latitude. Longitude is north
That's
and
a
south.
Longitude is across.
Remember,
and down.
lat is
No,
flat.
latitude is
Latitude
the
is
well,
flat.
latitude is
Lat-
north and south. It's the yeah.
Longitude's up and down.
Yeah.
It's
So
longitude.
Longitude,
So I
there you
lived
go.
in Manhattan for almost a decade, which is like kind of similar.
okay, so
technically, in terms
you
of
know
weather.
the cold.
So I'll be okay. I'll be okay. But yeah, the last like 3 years I've been in Florida, so
Oh, I
Gonna
thought,
be
you lived, I thought
rough.
you lived there way longer than that. I thought you'd just been in Florida forever.
no.
He's
I
he's
lived
been chilling with Sindel and their Christmas parties.
It's true. Sindel is like
It's
a
Sindel
4-hour
and,
drive for me.
Yeah.
who's the other one? Scatha? Not Scatha.
Scath is in
miss her.
Texas. but,
Scatha.
No. Who's the other one?
Isn't Scatha in? Or
Baggy
Void's-
High is
Well, Baggy High is her
Sindel's
husband.
Is her
Yeah.
husband.
No, there's another
Void-
one.
Void
Void
was there for a
Scribbler.
while.
Void
He was there for a
Scribbler's what
while.
I'm thinking
I
of.
think he moved back to England.
He comes back and forth. They can't get rid of him. He's like
Yeah.
a bad case of.
Scared Panda's down there too, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Case of something.
Yeah, because remember we were all hanging out after that FanFest 2018. We were all stuck in JFK.
Yeah. We're back to airports. Delana probably missed the
Dude,
first
wait,
part
full
of it.
circle. Way to bring it back to the travel, Delona.
Well,
This is
yeah.
the
Good
this is the
job.
But no,
travel
that was just like
episode.
one of my best memories was like having some quality bonding time with Elise, which, well, it's still weird for me to say CCP Swift because I'm always like Elise. Yeah, we hung out there for it. It wasn't the biggest layover, but it was still like we all had to hang out there for a while.
Yeah, I think all of our flights got like canceled and rerouted for like 4 hours. So we just
Yeah.
had all this extra time in the airport. It was actually pretty cool. It was like it was a nice like little end to the fan fest or Eve North. It was some I don't remember what it was.
I
Oh,
am
yeah.
so
But it was
glad
great.
that
It was
I've
very
ne-
memorable.
I have never had a connecting flight. I always fly straight from
I-
one airport to another.
That must
New
be nice.
Yorkers.
I always
Yeah.
have a connecting flight every
'Cause
time
I'm
I
from
fly
New
to
York.
Vegas, and it's funny because Vegas, if nonstop from Spokane to Vegas is like 2 hours, but I always have a layover in Salt Lake
Why?
Why?
because Salt
I
Lake is a
managed to
major
get it-
Delta hub, and so it's cheaper for them to just drop me off in
Oh,
in Salt Lake and then go. Because here's the thing, I can find direct flights from Spokane to Vegas, but they're usually like $370 round trip, or I can have a layover in Salt Lake each way and get the flight for $190.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
makes sense.
whenever I go east or northeast, I almost always end up going through Atlanta because that's Delta's
Yeah.
hub.
Same.
yeah, so it's always like Spokane to Salt Lake, which is about an hour flight, and then I wait in Salt Lake for like an hour or two, and then I get on a plane and I go Salt Lake to Vegas, which is like an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'm there, and then it's like back the same way. So it's like I'm never on the plane. The funny thing is like I hate it because the planes always coming out of Spokane are like the small old ass like shitty broken
seriously
down
back
like
on travel.
plane. Yeah, we're still going on travel,
I'm gonna
man.
keep
Get on
talking
this.
about it until I finally get to go
Yeah,
somewhere.
they're the shitty ass planes. They don't have anything. It's like the 2x2 on each side of the aisle. They're like the. But sometimes when I go Salt Lake to
Single
Vegas,
propeller.
I get like the better newer planes where it's like you get the screens in the back of the headrest. You can actually watch a movie. And the thing I hate is I'm like, even to this day, halfway through about 4 different movies. Because the flight is only about an hour for each flight, so it's like I get about halfway through the movie. I'm like, I'll finish it the next
And you've
time I
never
get a
finished them?
Delta
Just
plane
watch,
with a
watch
headrest
it at 1.5
screen.
speed.
That's gonna drive me crazy. Just knowing
And then
that
like
that's
I,
happening
it's
to
like
you.
I get the plane, no headrest screen. Get the plane, no headrest screen. And so I'm still waiting to finish that fucking. Who's the guy that did Taken?
You know
Liam
you can
Neeson.
stream
There's a
movies
Liam
now,
Neeson
Dragon.
snow
don't
movie
think
where
he
he's
knows
like a
that.
You
snowplow
don't- you
driver
don't
out in the
need
middle
to
of nowhere,
wait-
and he goes and
You don't
busts.
need to wait to be
he
on a
beats
I know
some
what you're
ass.
talking about, yeah.
You know the first half
They've
of
taken
so
in,
many
in
movies.
Eskimo Town.
Yeah, it's like he goes and beats some ass because they framed his kid for being a drug dealer, but then something happened to him. So it's basically like Taken, where he's like, I'm gonna go. I don't know who you are or what issue you have with my son, but I'm gonna come fuck you up. And it's basically that, but he's a snowplow driver. And I've
Oh.
watched half of that.
I
I've seen half of
remember
it too.
this.
Yeah, I've watched half of that
oh,
movie, and I
Jesus.
haven't finished it to this day. And I
It's
refuse to
Taken
finish it until I
in
watch it on a goddamn
Alaska.
Delta flight.
How many times is this man's children gonna get stolen?
Yeah,
No doubt. Or killed, yeah.
Mr. Plow's
Mr.
Revenge.
Blah, I was gonna say
It's
I
not Mr.
made
Plow's Revenge.
I photoshopped.
What's up, Alpha?
That's the name of the movie?
No,
No,
I-
it's like
I-
Snow.
I
It's not
remember-
Snowpiercer,
Oh,
but it's
great.
like something like that.
because
Cold
I
something. It's
remember
cold something.
I photoshopped the poster when it first came out. This is like 2017 or something when the
Mr.
poster
Plow's
first
Cold
came out.
Revenge.
I photoshopped the title to be Mr. Plow.
Cold Pursuit. That's the movie. Cold Pursuit.
Cold Pursuit. That's
yeah,
right.
I've watched half
So
of that, and I'm only gonna finish it if I watch it on a plane.
I photoshopped it to say Mr. Plow because, like, it would be so funny for anybody who doesn't know. Mr. Plow is an old Simpsons reference, and if you have Disney Plus, I encourage you to watch all of the classic Simpsons, everything up to season 8. Just
right,
don't
'cause
watch
Disney
after
owns
season 8.
Fox, so they own the Simpsons.
Mr. Plow is a
It is a freaking
Simpsons
great
reference,
episode,
and it's a great episode. But to imagine Homer as a snowplow driver in like a dark and serious take on it, where he's like going to go murder people. I want to see that movie. I want to see the dark and serious Mr. Plow movie.
That's
Zack
Mr.
Snyder.
That's what it's called, isn't it?
Can we get Zack Snyder on the phone to have him make the next Mr. Plow movie?
Oh, what I was gonna say is like, man, that's such a first world problem. Like, my flight's too fast to watch a whole movie.
My flight's too short. I can't
This
finish
is
my movie.
too nice.
Yeah, it's literally one of those things where like, and I hate it because every time the captain comes on to talk, it just like pauses your movie and you get like ear blasting because like you have the movies are always so quiet. You have to turn over to max, and then the captain comes on. He's like, it's just like yell. You're like, just ripping the earbuds
every
out.
time when as soon as I hear the movie cut out, I yank the headphones off because I know what's coming.
Yep.
They want you to hear it, damn it.
If you guys aren't doing anything in August, I'm told there might be an Eve meet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah, Delana, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, I think so. And all of you better show up.
I'm gonna do
I'm
my
helping
best.
to run this thing. This will be the first Eve meet since the end of 2019. Like the first
The
first full-blown thing. I mean, well, Vegas 2020 was.
It happened. I was there. So.
I wasn't
Vegas
there, so it
2020
didn't happen
did not
to me.
happen.
I was there.
And also, I think they
There
had
were
like
12 of
three
us.
dudes
There
in
were
a
12
raid
of
meet
us.
up in
It did
Iowa
not
or something.
happen.
I swear to
Yeah.
God, there were 12 of us there.
Okay. Literally 1 dozen.
Anywho,
But anyway,
Eve
yes,
Nola.
it's August 13th through 15th, and yes, it's going to be a little warm. You just have to dress accordingly. There will be plenty of cold drinks. We're going to be inside all the time because you can walk in with a drink, you can walk out with a drink.
Okay, you're saying warm. What do you mean?
Banana hammock.
Also bring a
warm.
red dress.
like wear,
Yes,
it
wear
is
sheen
Probably.
clothing,
They
something
have-
that
Oh,
breathes.
super hot.
They
Short
haven't
shorts.
officially announced, but that weekend of August is traditionally the red dress run, which is like it is like a marathon or something. But most people just like wear a red dress and just walk around the French Quarter all weekend. So
And drink.
Guys too?
and yeah,
Like
Okay,
men and
I'm on
women?
board.
Can I wear a red dress?
Is it
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
anybody can wear a red dress, and you might as well like shop for it where you are before you come
This
down
sounds
here.
so cool, actually.
Because
Too expensive
all
down
of the
there.
thrift stores, like all of their red dresses will be gone. Because all the guys go in there and buy
I'll
up
get
all
it
the
from
red dresses.
DXL.
This sounds so cool.
I'll go
You
to
could make some
DXL. Like,
serious
you got any
money with
red
this, I
dresses?
think.
I don't know.
I'll go to Kansas City and see. There's got to be all
But, like,
kinds of red dresses there,
And my
right?
dad always likes to like they wear a big hat and he has like a little purse. They have purses and they're like, man, we can fit so much stuff in here. And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point.
But
But
pockets.
yeah, you can get
though.
all dressed up.
Dude, I'm gonna get a dress with pockets.
Do it. Do
You
it.
have to have pockets. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's no
pockets.
pockets in it, I'll
20%
just like
better with
make some
pockets.
pockets in it.
What
I
kind
was
of
like-
pockets are we talking about here?
Like
So-
those
so
got some
some
holes in it,
20%
like-
better.
the
Those aren't the
dress.
normal
Also
kind of
some,
pockets,
like-
right?
No, they
that-
are.
shopping bags
pockets
on the
that
inside.
exist. Because
Yes,
there are
exactly.
sometimes pants with pockets that are fake.
Can you
What?
They're
can
so,
you
they make me
sew
mad.
like what if you had like the cargo pants of dresses where it's just pockets all around the outside?
I have skirts like that. I have like cargo.
A-
shirts.
That,
like
that
a-
would be
I have
A
cargo
skirt
shirts.
that is just made out of pockets.
But then,
Hell
like,
yeah.
if you
Where
have
do you get a
too
cargo
many
skirt?
pockets,
Oh,
then you
those.
probably like
That's what I
leave
just
stuff in
said,
there.
Don.
I
Like
want
you
one.
leave
Where do you get
something
it?
in there, and then you go to wash it, and you forget about it, and then all
Can
the stuff
probably
gets
find
wet.
one for you.
Like,
Then
like
you get pocket. Then you get like
Like
pocket.
Akrath said, basically a
beef
fishing
jerky.
vest of a dress.
I mean, you could, but it's like, yeah, I would probably forget stuff, and then you try to go
Just-
to wash
yeah,
it,
that's-
and then it would get all wet, and sometimes there's too much of a good thing. But as long as they exist, because sometimes they don't.
I want one. Damn it.
I think there's probably some red Junko jeans somewhere out there too.
Yes.
Dude, Jinko's
I'm
have
sure
so much
there is,
room.
yeah.
bright red denim.
I
Yeah,
want
August
people to
August
not
13th
even.
through 15th. Get your
Until
red
it
dress.
gets, there we go.
Actually,
drink.
one of them is actually a black cargo kind of skirt with a lot of like metal on it that I got at Hot Topic when I
Hell
was
yeah.
younger.
Boom. Circling
Yes.
back to Hot Topic.
Shopping
Awesome.
and
I'd
travel.
like to go there.
Dude, I'm gonna. That's the name of this episode on the
Shopping and
podcast.
travel.
Shopping and travel.
We talked about
Speaking of,
about Eve a little bit, but it was mostly
Mm.
airplane rides and airports.
No, the last hour
It
was
was an
full of
Eve
Eve.
sandwich, right? We had
It was an
travel on
Eve
one end,
sandwich.
Yeah, we
travel-
started with like a couple Eve questions, and then we got into travel and a bunch of other stuff, and then we got into like some deep Eve, and then now we're back to travel. So it's is it a travel sandwich then?
You can
No,
just
because you
tell
actually when you
we're-
name a
we're
sandwich,
all
you name
so
the ingredients in the
fucking
middle.
eager to get out
It's
of
not
our
a bread
houses.
sandwich; it's a ham sandwich. So it's an Eve sandwich. That's
I
what we
want
did
a sandwich
today.
so bad. I'm so
Yeah.
hungry.
Speaking of being hungry, I actually
Holy
one of
balls.
the downsides of working remote, they're actually super chill about it. They don't force me to wake up early, but I'm a little bit anal, so at least twice a week I try and wake up early. So today I woke up at the nice bright hour of 5 in the morning. So I am going
Fuck that.
to thank you all for having me.
Yeah,
and
we're-
we're
Thank
we're-
you for
that's
joining
out.
us.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do the final shots and final thoughts and be out of here. So
Okay, so
I would say like, yeah, if you because then the cameras won't get. If you want to hang out for like literally like 3 or 4 minutes.
Minute and a half.
Okay. All right. Final shots, final thoughts. We're gonna end the episode, and we'll get down to it. We got this cool animation man he made for us. So
It's fantastic.
I'm gonna take this because I said something first. That is a really cool animation. But yeah, go to Eve New Orleans,
Thank you.
August 13th through 15th. And also, it was nice having CCP Swift on here because I miss you, and it's always fun to hang out. So that will be a fun time. But I bet you're gonna be doing good stuff with CCP.
I hope so.
all right, Dom, you're up.
Oh, he took me off guard here. I don't have anything.
You're always first because you have like
Dad, don't
Doing
do that to me.
alphabetical, dude.
yeah
It
like
sucks, man.
there's
Yeah, 'cause I
3D
stole
names,
it.
but yours is
I'm
like
really-
surprisingly DO and it's alphabetical. So there you go.
I got nothing.
Alphabetical.
You caught me off guard, man. I got nothing.
All right, all right.
Alphabetical.
I
Think about it.
little slip of the tongue. All right, I'll do one. Honestly, shots just to RC and Swift. Thank you guys for coming on. That was hella fun. I know I've been like just clogging up Swift's DMs with, "Hey, you coming on tonight? You coming on? What about this week? How about now, man? You coming on?" And so I'm glad.
CCP finally gave him permission to come.
No,
on the
no,
show.
he let us know. There was a whole there's a whole thing. He had to go through the initiation process, all this stuff, and then he was busy. And so I'm just thank you guys for coming on, both of you. It was a fun show, excellent talks. So, shots to both of you. Manic grip. Ooh.
Oh god, I don't even know. New Jita looks fantastic.
Oh, I would have should
love
have said
it. And yeah, Eve Nola, vote in the CSM, go to Eve Nola, go to Eve Vegas, get your fucking vaccinations. What else? Oh, I want to show off my
I want to see it.
my
Show
Johnny
it off.
Silverhand.
Show it off, baby.
This just came in the mail. I'm not normally
Oh,
like a
fuck yeah.
collector of toys. Like this isn't
Oh, you got
normally
it
my
3D
jam,
printed?
but no.
Oh.
This is it's a model that came. I ordered
Oh my
it on
God.
Amazon, but
When
I'm
you took those
super-
pictures, I thought it was like something you made on Photoshop or something, or like from the game.
Very cool.
No,
man.
it's a 12-inch fucking figure. I normally I don't do stuff like this, but I love this thing. This is badass.
You get to build 15 minutes of this. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. Arcia, you got any? You don't have to do a shot. I'm just saying, like, you got any final
Oh,
shout
fuck
outs you want
that.
to
Shot.
I don't keep alcohol on the home.
do? Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
Don't. Yeah,
You pretend.
alcohol is optional, but if you want to do a
But,
shout out, you got the time.
I want to thank you guys for inviting me on today. I want to say how great it was to be on a talk show with CCP Swift. Again, I miss you on TIS, right? And vote in TSM and have fun on the Foundation quadrant because it's like my favorite quadrant in a while because it's focused on this fantastic world that we all share together.
All right, Swift, you're up.
Boom.
Oh well, just thanks for having me, guys. It's pretty cool. I kind of started my Player Eve career on a version of this talk show, and it's cool that I get to like continue that on as a CCP here, because this I think is my second ever talk show as a CCP Swift. So that's good. I didn't screw up my name, so
Right.
Did
even
not,
better
yeah.
for me. Nailed it all around. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks
us.
for being
Yeah.
here.
All right, with that said, we're half an hour over time, but honestly, we needed that extra travel
It's our
talk.
time.
So we're going to close it out. We'll catch you guys later. Did we still want to do Spaceballs for the...
Yes. Let's just go right into it.
Yeah,
well,
no,
no.
no after show. Let's do movie.
Yeah, no, so we're just going to... if you guys want to watch Spaceballs, down below the stream, there's a link to our Discord, and we're going to go into the video voice channel thing there, and we're going to stream Spaceballs, and you can watch it. So we'll do... There's no after show, but we're just gonna go straight to the movie. So anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Later, bitches.
Later, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.